Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Drinks and Discussions Tuesday Night Live. Alongside Big Jake, Marcus, I am your host, Brian. And we're about to get after it, folks. We are about to get after it. Let me tell you. I'm going to change a couple of things because I had some changes over the past week. In case you saw some graphical errors, I am completely done with those now. But it's good to see you. Hello. Big Jake, Marcus, how are you gentlemen doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
I'm
just getting over a head cold, so I'm starting to feel a little bit better.
Glad to hear it. I think last Thursday you were actually getting you were coming down with something last Thursday, right? Wasn't it last Thursday?
As after the stream, actually, last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday, that's right.
It was really starting to hit me hard.
Right. I'm gonna change up a couple of things here, guys. I apologize. I'm looking a little weird in the screen, a little dark, I think. Is that better, or is that light behind me too bright?
A tad bit too bright. Maybe tone it down just a tad.
Yeah, it's not your normal red light.
No, I changed it up a little bit because is that better? Or should I just go back and go red? I'll just go red.
There you go.
All right. Thank you very much, Yum. Thank you very much. Hope, Yum, you're having a great day. Hello, Miss Sharon. Once again, in violation of our YouTube policy. You're on Facebook and not YouTube, but that's okay. Yes, you should be on YouTube. It doesn't really matter, Sharon, to be honest with you. I was just giving you a hard time last week because we were just trying to get our viewerships up on the YouTube channel. And Facebook is so much further ahead. I'm trying to get more viewerships on YouTube. Hey, Thumper. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. So Yum says I still look dark in my screen. I'm gonna try to lighten it up again still. I don't know if I can continue doing this. Anyway, let's jump right into it because I want to get into the drinks and then let everybody know what we're going to be discussing tonight because we got some really good topics. I think it should hopefully get a lot of people's interest in what we're going to be talking about tonight. So, Jake, what are you drinking tonight?
Oh, just got me some Dr. Pepper again. I'm on a straight Dr. Pepper kick these days.
Oh, okay. Good to see you. Good to hear. How about you, Mr. Marcus? What's going on, buddy? What are you drinking tonight?
I just got my standard Mountain Dew Zero.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mountain Dew Zero.
So I am trying something different. I've never heard of it, never seen it, never tasted it, but I saw this, and it's called James Ownby Reserve Tennessee Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It is 47% proof. And it's got a pretty nifty little bottle here. That's why I kind of was thinking, okay. Hello, Madman Smitty. You guys see that? And Sharon's drinking a blueberry margarita. Oof.
That looks pretty good.
Yes. I like the blueberry, but I don't like the margarita.
So I'm going to drink this whiskey bourbon and kind of get on it and see what we got here. What does this taste like? Yum. They are some non-alcoholic acids. What are you drinking, Yum? We got some blueberry margarita for Sharon. I know Thumper. You gotta tell me. I'm sure you're drinking vodka.
I'll go whip out the moonshine. Shit, I got plenty of it in the fridge.
No, Jake, we're just giving you a hard time, man. You drink whatever you want to drink.
I know.
Drink whatever you want. All right, guys, cheers to you and all you viewers that are here with us tonight already, and for those who are joining us soon. Marcus, cheers.
Cheers, here.
Goal.
Are you drinking it out of a bullhorn?
Yes.
Okay, so listen, I got to comment something. My neighbor is Sharon. And
what's up, Sharon?
she is outside in her backyard, and I told her that we're going to have to start doing some of our podcasts over there with her as well, because she's out there. Not only is she drinking, which is a weird combination, margarita and a cigar. Sounds like it's a horrible combination, but that's what she's doing. Drinking a margarita and smoking a cigar. I think she pretends she's on a beach every day of her life. She got it like that, fella. She's just got it like that.
She's a golf pro, right?
Yeah, the she gonna get on me for that one. She gonna get on YouTube. She gonna get on you for that too.
Hi, Sharon. Brian said it was true.
and okay, so listen, by the way, for you guys who don't know, Sharon and some of her friends and her organization, Diamonds on the Green, are going to be highlighting and hosting the Drinks and Discussions Ladies Night. Now, Sharon, if you're there, I would hopefully ask you to ping all of your friends, send them to the YouTube channel, ask them to subscribe so they can kind of see how some of these live podcasts go. And they can see the chats and see how you can interact with everyone as well, and see how, what they think, and how, what they can take away from what we're doing, and then some improvements that you guys want to do and create on your own. So anyway, because we need to get that viewership up. If you guys want us to do the one chip challenge, I am actually really, really looking forward to it. Zeus is in the house. Look at this guy. Come on in, Zeus. Because I think Zeus, I don't know if he would do it. I think he's more of a scaredy cat than we are. But I kind of think he would do the one chip challenge with us. But I'm not sure. But if we get to 300, we get to 300 on YouTube. We're almost at 300 on Facebook. And just for you guys who don't know, if you haven't seen the funny video that I put up last Friday about the honey biscuit, you got to watch it. We're up at 2,000 views on that one video on Facebook and 400 over on YouTube. So we're really trying to get things going and moving over here on the YouTube side, and kind of shy away from over here on the YouTube or Facebook channel. Even though we do appreciate you guys on Facebook, but we would like you to kind of join us and follow us more on the YouTube side. All right. Feel like I just said a whole lot right there.
Okay, you had a lot to say.
Yeah, let me take a little deep breath and take a little sippy sip. And and it's what's funny though to me is that I'm not big about watching this kind of stuff until I posted that one video about the honey biscuit, and I start watching it on Facebook, because not only on Facebook were people viewing it, I kept getting these notifications saying that they were sharing it. So 15 people shared that video to other people to see it, and it's still, I think it's at 2.1 thousand views on that one video. But then I start thinking we have 137, 38 followers on YouTube, and we garner anywhere between 60, 70, sometimes in the hundreds of views for our videos. So I think we're right where we're supposed to be with the amount of viewers or subscribers that we have. I'm just trying to figure out what's the magical solution to kind of get more. I know we have the followers that we have, and we really appreciate you guys, but I'm trying to figure out how we can actually do more. Is it the content? Is it I'm trying to do more videos throughout the week. Some are political, some are like the ones that are funnier and more light. So I'm trying to give you guys more things to watch instead of just our live shows.
We might have to go topless, Brian.
Wait, if you watch, as soon as you say that, Liz is going to come out and say, "Hey, I'm joining. I'm here. I'm late, but I'm here."
Oh, you better count me out of that topless thing. I ain't going topless. Maybe you guys.
Oh,
come on, Jake.
No, I'm going to keep my shirt on in this one.
Do some push-ups right before you take your shirt off. You'll be fine.
That's the trick right there.
Ain't nobody want to see that.
And yeah, I am going to start doing some more shorts and stuff like that on YouTube as well to kind of get some viewerships up. But I'm trying to do all these other channels. As soon as I get other people more acclimated on doing the true crimes and the ladies' night, I want somebody else to kind of help me do some movie reviews as well. And then us guys get more on the sports stuff. I think we'll start hitting some home runs. Speaking of home runs, I'm not going to go into it, but Aaron Judge hit 63.
And 62. I lied to you earlier. It was 62.
Oh, 62. 62. Oh, okay, 62.
and he did it in our backyard, right down the road in Arlington, Texas, at Globe Life Field.
Oh. Sharon talking about wet T-shirt.
Oh, is she going to participate?
Is she volunteering or suggesting?
Yeah,
that's the question.
Right.
We're always willing to take some suggestions on Real Talk. That would be really good for us. Speaking of Real Talk, that's some of the things that we wanted to try to discuss tonight. So the first topic I'd like to talk about is because it's right upon us. The first real holiday of the season. Halloween. Do you celebrate? Do you decorate? Do you do anything? Adult Halloween parties? Are you still playing dressed up? Do you like those things? What is it that you like to do for Halloween? I have a 4-year-old, so what I do for Halloween and when you have kids, it's a little bit different than when you're kidless. So I wanted to delve into that. And then also, more of the holiday theme is, are you gearing up for charitable acts? Are you a volunteer for the Salvation Army, giving to the Salvation Army, donating to the Red Cross? I know a lot of companies are going to be soliciting charitable contributions from now on into the new season, especially with Toys for Tots and blah blah blah. You'll see those things popping up in your office if you're going to the office. So want to kind of see what your plans are, if you have plans to give back to your communities. I think personally, I love giving back. I love being a part of my community, no matter where I am. You can ask Sharon that. So I just want to see what you guys have to say about it. All right, let's get into it. Halloween.
Need some Halloween.
Jake, you are probably the biggest Halloween observer of the crew. What say you? What is your things that you gear up for, love to do for Halloween?
Well, I definitely like to decorate, but I haven't really pulled any of my decorations out yet. I know me and my sister loved to decorate the house when I was living with her for the short time I was, but this year, me and my lady friend, I think we're gonna go hang out with my sister and my niece for a little bit, take her out, and then after that, as the night goes, we're gonna go find a cemetery to hang out in and stargaze. Since we're into that kind of stuff, just find a plot, lay down on the grass, and enjoy the cool breeze and look up at the stars.
What do you do if something? What do you do if something touches you?
Nothing.
Run.
Enjoy it. I like dark spirits.
It's funny because if you screamed and nobody heard you, did you really scream?
I guess that falls under the whole, if a tree falls in the forest and you're not around, does it actually make noise?
That's where I was kind of going with that. Yeah,
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you never know.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Marcus?
No, I enjoy. I'm not a big decorator of Halloween, but I do enjoy it. And my daughter and I, we have a tradition. We go to the pumpkin patch every year, and we've been going to this same pumpkin patch. I've got pictures. She's 12 now. We've been going to the same pumpkin patch since she was like 2 or 3 years old. So I've got pictures going that far back. So that's probably the biggest tradition or routine that we have. Probably even more so than the Christmas. But yeah, we'll get a pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take some pictures out there, and then I say we carve the pumpkin, but there's no we. It ends up just being me. Me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like going to apple orchards and stuff like that too. We went to just the weekend before last. We went to Apple Fest up where my dad lives. And that was pretty fun to go to.
Yeah, and it's one of those things because we used to have this place called Storybrook Farm, and they were a charitable organization that gave to less fortunate kids, and they went down. And so the pumpkin patch that they had, I think it's going up across the street, but we were concerned because we wanted to go to um, a pumpkin patch this year because that's something that smaller children like my son actually enjoy as well, and as the other children used to enjoy as well growing up. But um, I think this year I just finished today putting up Halloween Halloween lights. We decorate the outside. We got blow ups, and then we got like Christmas lights, but they're Halloween colors. So I had those
Mm.
put up around the house.
Yeah, my sister, she's got all of her inflatables in the front yard. She's got like spider webs, and my brother-in-law actually had one of his old decorations in the garage. It was like this like fake looking body that was wrapped up in a bloody like plastic bag. He was gonna hang it in the tree. Kind of scared their new neighbors.
Mm,
Well, my sister was like, "No, we're trying to make a good first impression with our neighbors. We don't want them to go calling the cops on us just yet."
right. What about you guys in the chat? Is there anything that you guys do over here? I'm looking up the chats, making sure. Um, I don't know who this Yum is male person is. I think that we might need to get him out of there. I don't understand the harsh language that's going on toward Yum, but um, uh, any good movies? Because I know around Christmas we watch some of the Christmas and Santa Claus shows. Any Halloween theme movies that are like you have to put them on your list of watching before the um Halloween's over? And what are some of the good ones?
Well, I think Halloween Ends comes out in theaters here in about 2 weeks.
I think
So
they're
that'll
just
be out
kind
in
of,
theaters.
I don't know. I think they're kind of milking the whole Michael Myers thing.
Oh yeah, I think it's the last one for sure. But yeah, you're right. They are milking it.
Well, they said that about the last one, but
True
the one before that, the one before that, dude, they're just
story.
gonna keep. They're gonna keep making them forever because Michael Myers can't die. He's like, you can't kill him.
All right.
Maybe he's got a kid. Maybe he's got a kid somewhere.
He's actually a cyborg.
Yeah.
Uh, Marcus, you watch anything?
As far as movies are concerned, I don't have any that are on my list that I have to stop down and watch. If I catch them passing, in passing, like the Friday the 13th movies are always good. And then probably the biggest ones growing up for us and my family were probably the Freddy Krueger movies. So I
Mm.
remember
Love
watching those at a young age. So those were always good movies.
Friday the 13th.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the chat too, and Sharon is talking about how she's a scaredy cat to watch it. Listen, I tell y'all that firsthand. Sharon is a scaredy cat and scared of cats. So
Wait a minute. Didn't she say earlier in the chat that it was her kids that were scared and that they don't normally? So
trying to throw
really,
them.
she's saying,
Yeah, she's trying to throw
okay,
them under the bus. Hmm.
okay.
Madman Smitty said, I'm decorated 365 24/7. I'm assuming that means that you're strapped all the time. I don't know what that means. Or that means don't come tricker or he's going to be treating. If you come trying to trick, he's going to be treating. So anyway, I want you guys to look up this movie because it has always scared me and it probably is not good now. But when I think about Halloween, I think about growing up. And again, being in a sheltered little family life that I had, not complaining about that, but we weren't allowed to watch all scary movies. because they had demonic undertones, if you will. And so we were not allowed to watch them. But when we would go over my cousin's house or anybody else's house, we would actually, watch whatever they were watching. So sometimes they would end up being scary movies. There's this movie called It's Alive. And it is about a lady who has this baby that's a born, I don't know if she was whatever, but she had this baby that ended up being some kind of demonic little baby that was going around killing people.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things, the two things that scare me. And I used to, when I first started watching Annabelle, when they have more um, like different versions, not versions, but when when Annabelle came out, it was a good scary movie. But then as they continued to make other Annabelles, they kind of became stupid to me. They didn't seem as scary. But anything that involves kids scare me, and anything that involves like puppets and dolls, those are the
So,
ones
so
that
you
scare
didn't
me
like
as well.
so you didn't like the Chucky movies.
You know what's so funny?
Oh,
I was too afraid back in the day to watch the Chucky movies, and then when I saw them now, like as a grown up, they were kind of like, come on.
well, of course, when you see a movie as a kid, then you see it as an adult, you get a whole different kind of like when I saw the Scream movies when I was a kid. Like I wasn't really super scared of them, but I would always think that that guy is outside my window, and you look out the window, he turns around, and there's that ghost face like right there. I always had that weird like see, but at the same time, when I was a kid, like my brother and sister didn't like scary movies, but I would always sit and watch them with my mom when it was Halloween time, and they would
Mhm.
always go in the other room. So, growing up, I was never really super scared, and it didn't give me bad dreams. So
Mm.
it's like, and I always wanted to go to like haunted houses and do all that fun stuff. And oh my gosh, do I got stories about Halloween's growing up in my old neighborhood?
Wow.
Lots, dude, mischievous stories with me and my brother. Oh, those were some fun times, dude.
What are you
Could
gonna say,
sit and
Marcus?
talk about.
What are you gonna say, Marcus? You're in the microphone like you're about to say something.
Oh, no, 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 no. I was leaning, I was reading some of the posts.
Oh.
I was probably leaning over a little bit.
And listen, Yama hit the nail on the head. The Saw movies, the first one or two Saw movies, were fascinatingly scary. I was really kind of at
I
the
don't
edge
know
of my
about
chair.
scary though.
They were
Those are
tense
more
for me.
those are more like splatter porn movies. They're good, but they got a good story. But just it's mostly just splatter porn. That's all it is.
But
I like gut movies, but just
splatter porn. Did
that's
you ever
pretty much what
did
it
you see the
is.
new Saw movie with Chris Rock in it
No, I want to
and
though.
Samuel L. Jackson in it? It's actually not a bad movie.
What isn't it called? Spiral or
Spiral.
something?
That's exactly right. It's called Spiral, and it's a
That did
good
look pretty
scary
good.
movie. Has anybody seen Nope?
Yes, and don't go see it.
Is it bad? Because I
Shut
did want to
up.
go see it.
I love the first two movies. I loved them. I loved them, and I was so fired up to see this Nope movie. Yeah, don't waste
Okay,
your time. I don't
I'll
know.
give it to you. I already got it. I
Yeah,
already got
no.
it. So just I
I'm not
don't
gonna
want you
say
to tell
anything.
me anything, but I will.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go see it. I'm going to get ready to see it. Probably within this next week with my neighbor.
Okay.
I want to see it.
Yum said Saw got old after the 19th movie. Pretty much.
True.
It's a true story, really. You know what's funny? Truth Teller, hello, welcome, Truth Teller. Loves this time of year watching Michael Jackson's Thriller over and over. That used to be a
Mm.
thing we used to do as well. Um, I I'm not gonna get into movies, but I saw a really good movie also this past week that I heard was really bad, and because Marcus told me that this was bad, I will probably love it because Sharon told me that she could not even watch Bullet Train all the way through. It was so bad. I watched Bullet Train, and I have seen it 1.5 times already. I got ready to watch it again, then something else came up, and I couldn't finish it. It was phenomenal. Bullet Train
Yeah, I
is
want
a
to see it.
good movie, and if you get some of the Easter eggs that they put in there, it makes it even better.
Bullet Train.
It's with Brad Pitt, and he's got a bunch of people in this movie. And if you really pay attention, if you know some of the things about it, you're gonna sit there and go, oh, "Wow, that's clever writing." The writing is so clever. It's just a good movie. Yes, Sharon, I'm calling you out that you have bad taste in movies. Bullet Train's awesome.
Now, it's a tradition that me and my sister watch when we were kids. We would, since we first watched it, was the first Hocus Pocus movie. Me and my sister yearly would watch that, and it's been a tradition ever since now. And I just watched the new movie the other day. I
Really?
gotta tell you, oh yeah, and I gotta tell you, those three ladies have not lost it. That movie was so funny, but kept to kind of its dark humor a little bit. But it
For my
was really, it
daughter,
was good.
I'm sorry, Jake.
No, I was
Uh,
done. I was just saying it was pretty good. It was really good, actually.
my daughter loves those movies, and she she was so excited when it came out the other day. And matter of fact, she takes her tablet, on the we have a for me to get her to school, it's about almost an hour to get her to school because of traffic. But she'll take the tablet on the way to school, and she watched half the movie on the way to school on Friday morning.
Wow.
Did she
She
see the
loved
first
it.
one? She see the first one?
Yeah, she saw the first one. Yep.
So my
Yeah.
wife and I watched it. Let me qualify this. My wife loved. She was like she was gearing up. My wife has been of late trying to get my son to bed, and there's when she during the daytime she's playing and doing things and activities with him. So when it's time to like me to watch a movie, she's usually in bed because she's spent all day with him and she's trying to get him to bed. But she was geared up to watch a movie. She said, "I want to watch this Hocus Pocus 2." Me and my friend back in California, we used to love it. And she was geared up to watch it. And I said, I would love to watch this movie with you. So we ended up watching it, I want to say Sunday night. And I'll be honest with you, it was entertaining. I didn't see the first one, but this one was very entertaining. I actually think that I thought it was
You
worth
never saw
watching.
the first one?
Listen, man, I'm a black male. What the hell am I going to be watching three white witches in a movie for? I'm kidding. That's a joke. That is a joke. I'm working on my stand up,
I
Ah,
guys.
know,
I'm
I
working
know.
on my stand up.
oh, dude. I mean, like I said, my sister. That movie came out when I don't know. What was it? 93. Yeah, I was still just a wee lad, but
So that's when Hocus Pocus came out, 93.
yeah. Or maybe
Really?
that's when the movie
Dang,
was. Or that's when the movie was set. Or maybe it did come out in 93.
Oh, if you
didn't
guys are in
realize
the
it was
chat
that
looking that
old.
up, tell me when Hocus Pocus was actually out. Megatron Community Watch, were you saying that Amsterdam was a bad movie, it stunk, or were you talking about Hocus Pocus stunk, or were you talking about Thriller Video stunk? I don't know what that was, a little comment in there about
And then
something
don't be
stunk.
knocking on Michael Jackson's Thriller. That might have been cheesy, but that was the 80s, and it was still
That
good.
was
It was good.
It was
that was
cutting edge.
groundbreaking.
Yes.
Yes.
Groundbreaking. Yes. 100% it was.
Do you remember where you were when you first saw that video? I can tell you exactly where I was.
It would have to be in my grandparents' house, I believe, when that video came out, because my parents wouldn't let us watch music videos.
Okay. I was at the Hot Wheels skating rink in Garland. It was, and I say Garland, but it was right there on that Richardson Garland border, off Plano Road and dang it, I forget that cross street. But I was at the Hot Wheels skating rink. It was on a Friday night. I was in sixth grade, and they would have a time where they would pull down the video screen and show videos every on Friday nights.
Let me find out. Marcus had a magic a Michael Jackson glove and I'll be honest with you, I did have a poor man's Michael Jackson glove in the sixth grade and a poor man's Michael Jackson beaded jacket. And there were kids in my Spring Ridge Elementary School that actually had the real Michael Jackson beaded jacket. Remember those?
Yeah, yeah,
Was that like a red? It was a red leather jacket, wasn't it? That he wore,
yeah,
or was
Yeah.
it?
You can get them in
yeah.
different colors. You can get them one in black and you can get one in the red.
I think one of my favorite things about Michael Jackson was his signature spin move. Like that was always my favorite. when he did that signature like spin, and he would just go and go and go and stop like right
on
there.
his toes, stop on his
Yeah.
toes. Yep.
Hocus Pocus came out in 1993. Truth Teller is telling the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was right.
We were out of high school by then.
But yeah, man,
Perfect.
it's always been a yearly tradition that me and my sister watch that either on Halloween or close to it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm gonna put how It's Alive on my Plex, and Marcus, you gotta get my Plex account. I know Sharon's now on it, and I want you to watch um, It's Alive. But then also, let me ask you guys this question too. I don't consider this necessarily a horror movie, but Jaws was a kind of like a scary movie that we used to watch around Halloween time as well. But have you guys ever heard of the movie Orca?
I have heard of. I don't think I've seen it though, but I have heard it.
Never heard of it.
Okay. Orca to me was a lot better movie than Jaws. It didn't get the critical acclaim and all that kind of stuff, but Orca was a phenomenal movie. It was just about a killer whale instead of a shark, and it followed around these people. I'm not going to give the plot away, but it's a very, very well done movie. It again, sometimes when you see these movies because you saw them when you were growing up, they don't age well because of the cinematography is so much different now. They use CGI and everything is kind of corny back then. But if you can get past some of those things in these older movies, I think you might even enjoy that for a Halloween treat. Candy, favorite candy in the bag. Which one are you grabbing first, Big Jake?
Man, that's tough. That's really tough. Well, when we were kids, there would always be this one neighbor that would always set out this big bowl on the front porch, and he'd fill it with warheads. And those were my favorite candy growing. They're still my favorite. So I'd take a bunch of them and stuff them. So warheads would have to be my favorite, but there's just so many. And then you had like, Twizzlers and
You're a candy person. Is that what you're saying? You love all candy?
dude, I love all except for like Almond Joy and Mounds. I can't stand those. Count me out. I don't like coconut.
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. You don't like that?
Let's keep it PG-13. Let's keep it PG-13.
Oh, dang. That did sound bad. I was thinking of I had the commercial jingle in my head.
I know it. But as soon as you said it, my ears heard something completely different. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reese's peanut butter cup is what Truth Teller says. Reese's peanut butter cups.
That is my go-to.
You know what would be funny though is that sometimes you would have those people that would put bowls of candy out on their front porch and leave a note that just says "take one." How many kids do you think are just going to take one? They're going to take that stuff. Well, me and my brother, one time, this was always me and my brother. My sister would always go off with her friends. It was just me and my brother. We would take our pillowcases, take the bowl, and dump it in one bag and dump it in the other bag, set it down, and run off down the street. Because who's going to run off?
Here's how we do it. And by the way, Thumper 88 says Snickers, and I will tell you my favorite candy is Baby Ruth. And I think a lot of that has to do with I'm a big Goonies fan, and I love Chunk and Baby Ruth. Baby Ruth. I'm not as good as Marcus is with that, but I had to say it.
Ruth, baby, Ruth.
So what we do, because we have a 4-year-old, and last year I believe was his real first year. When he was 2, we went to like a couple of neighbors right directly next door to us. But then when he turned 3, we did like just our immediate street. And so now he's 4, and he's got a different costume and all that kind of stuff. He's looking forward to it. And what we did, I got in our neighborhood, dads, our parents put alcoholic beverages in their cups, to-go cups. They walk around with their small children. They linger behind and let them go up and down, and we all talk to each other. And Um, we put the big bowl of candy right next to the Ring doorbell and say, "Hey, take one. We're watching you on our camera phones," and making sure everybody does it. And sure enough, kids only take. Some of them take a handful, but we put enough in there that they're not going to empty the whole bowl. We trust people. We trust the kids.
See, I would want to stand by the door and kind of hiding out. And for
Mm-hmm.
those that take on, I'd want to have like a bullhorn, and then I see him take it and it sounded out. Right.
just hide in the bush and like you just raise up your hand and just
And then
Yes.
and then take his whole bag and say, "This is my candy now, fool.
Right.
My candy.
Right.
Pity the fool. Take all my candy."
where we used to live, there used to be a ravine that would separate our neighborhood from the next one, and there'd be some like some wooded parts, and there's these big bushes. So me and my brother would tie up our bags and hide them in the bushes, and then we'd go back to the neighborhood, and we'd have these scary masks on. We'd just run around scaring people and smashing pumpkins in the street, and
Mm-hmm.
just causing a whole bunch of trouble out there. It was just, oh man. And then we'd go back to the house, watch scary movies, eat candy, and just dude, if I could go back to those times, that would be it. That feels like a really best time.
You
Really
know,
excited.
nostalgia sometimes when you think about it, it just makes you kind of just like want to smile and just go, "Man, take me back."
I wish, dude.
Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I still wish I was a kid again. Oh, you let me hang by myself there, Marcus? You didn't chime in?
See, I didn't know the words to that song, but I know the song you're talking
Oh,
about.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if I could jump in a time machine and go back to any time of my childhood, Halloween when I was a kid growing up, definitely would be it.
I'm going back to when the Cowboys won their first Super Bowl.
Well, you could fast forward and go to the end of the year or in February and go to the next Super Bowl they win. So teleport to February. They're going to win it again. Marcus is like, oh, I don't know about that, Brian. Don't know about that. But you know what's funny? I want to talk about something that's kind of a good segue where we're talking about, trusting kids and doing, do you feel as if you can put yourself out there towards your community? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I did see my boy Marcus on his Facebook page and Instagram had said, posted some pictures where he was volunteering with his company. And we're on that in that season where people are making a big push, and I wish people were more generous and kind toward one another all year long, especially in the climate that we live in right now. Where I posted some things today about political figures, spewing violent rhetoric that just doesn't make sense to me. But are we as individuals making a difference? Are we charitable in our communities? Are we giving back? And then when I saw my boy Marcus do it, it just kind of made me feel, warmed my heart to see people doing things that he was doing. So I want to let Marcus talk about it. And then I want to go and ask you guys in the chat and also you, Jake, do you get into that spirit of giving to where you are volunteering and donating, whether it's time or money, toward charitable causes during this time of year?
Right. Appreciate that introduction, Brian. So last week we the company I work for, and this was something that we had talked about and planned probably about a month ago, but we were trying to come up with a group outing for our group, just a little team building thing, and someone had suggested volunteering at a food pantry or a food bank, and we were all on board with it. And I hadn't growing up, I did a lot of this kind of stuff, with youth groups in church and whatnot, things like that. And then when I was in college, with my fraternity, we would get involved in the community and do things like this. But since college days and adulthood and parenthood, I really have not been involved in this way in a really, really long time. So as a company, we decided we were going to, spend half a day at at a food pantry here in the DFW area, and we had an absolute blast. There was about 15, 16 of us that went, and they split us up into groups. And there were other companies out there. There was a smaller group from Amazon. There were some other groups that were out there, but they split us all up and basically put a group of us on an assembly line inside to package these boxes, these food boxes that would go to a family and feed them for 2 3 weeks at a time. And then they split. And then the other group of us, they put them outside to help give away the boxes and load up the cars and whatnot. But I had never really seen how they put together these boxes, and you hear the stories of how these groups or these donation centers will put together boxes, hundreds and hundreds of boxes.
Mhm.
Well, I get it now because there were so many of us working on an assembly line. We packaged up in just the 4 hours that we were there. We packaged up about 240 boxes,
Wow.
and it was things from from canned meat to cereal to noodles to spaghetti sauce to um, spices, and we even threw in some little sweet treats, for the folks as well. But it was really really fun. We had a fun time. It was it was great. Matter of fact, I was talking to my boss about it this afternoon during our one-on-one session, and had mentioned to her that I left there thinking that might be something good for uh, my daughter and I to do
Hmm.
at least once a quarter or something like that. But that's not a whole lot to ask. But I need to check on the age requirements and if that's an issue or not. But yeah, we had a great time, and I left there with a renewed perspective on how blessed I am.
It's funny that I tell people all the time there's a lot of people that you probably don't know are like this, but are one paycheck away from going to a food pantry. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck that even though you see them in a nice house or driving a nice car, that steady paycheck didn't come in, they wouldn't be able to deal with what they have to deal with. Um, like Jake said, I did some volunteer work like that at Northwest Harvest back in the days when she could deal with stuff like that. Um, but I'm a very emotional type of a person. I love it when these times come when we're volunteering, giving back. But I also get emotional when I see uh, charities, not promoting, but using the children that have disabilities or things of that nature. And you see them when they're talking about families in need. They always put the children in the forefront. It always breaks my heart to see that kind of stuff. And it was one of those things when I saw Marcus doing this, it warmed my heart, like you said, Marcus. And I didn't even volunteer, but um, I think we as a community and as a um, and the times we live in, we should be doing a lot more of this instead of doing some of the other things that are happening right now. And hello, Kate, Peter, Troll Farm graduate. Hello, heading to California. Good to see that you're heading to California. Appreciate you telling us. Great, Jake. What you got, man? Tell me.
Well, I usually my job has this thing called United Way. What that is, it's I think it's like a charity that fights for like education and healthcare and stuff like that for any community. And we haven't had our meeting yet this year, but usually I'll sign up and I'll donate like $1 out of my paycheck a week or something like that to help go towards that. I mean, it's not much, but at least I'm saying I'm at least doing my part, helping out. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's I don't really do a whole lot of volunteer work. I mean, I don't know if anybody would consider it charity, but I mean, I went through some of my old clothes and then boxed, bagged them up and took them to a Goodwill. I
That
mean,
counts.
Yeah, that counts.
but you know, other than those two things, I haven't really done anything. I mean, my grandfather actually, uh, let's see, volunteers with the Salvation Army, so he
Hmm.
does a lot of that stuff.
You
I
know,
should thought
I'm
about getting with him about that.
I'm going to do something before the end of the year. First of all, I've been wanting to get some signage and some maybe some drinks and discussions T-shirts for us to wear. I'll ship one out to you, Jake, or a few of them out to you as well. But I want us to be able to do just like Marcus did, go out there and represent drinks and discussions and do some charity work throughout the community. There's a Big Brothers and Big Sisters. There's also in where I live in McKinney a shelter for um, homeless women and abused women in the area that I've actually in the past have volunteered to work for, do some work for as well. I did some IT work for them and taught classes for them to help them get jobs in the IT career field. That was several years back. And so it just warms my heart. That's one of the things I like about this time of the year. Not only am I going to be taking a lot of time off from work because of the vacation time, but these types of things that you can kind of get away from all of the monotony and the nonsense that you have to go through, and everything that's propagated into the mainstream media and today's current events, and do something locally in your community. And that's what I keep trying to promote here on Drinks and Discussions is if you want to make a change, start with your local community. Start doing things that can make a change in your neighborhood first. And then from your neighborhood, go to your city. And then from your city, go into the next city. And then from the next city, go into the next. And then you can go into the state. And blah, 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 blah. And then you can rub off on people. Like Marcus rubbed off on me when I saw it. I hadn't really had a chance to think about it. But when I saw it, it rubbed off on me. And it was like, man, I really want to start doing some things.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we it was a good time on many levels, and yeah, and it wasn't. Yeah, it didn't. It was easy. I mean, it was just that easy to donate some of our time.
Well, when you think about it, how often do we sit around and we're either on the couch or sitting somewhere, we're just looking at scroll. You know, you get the scroll of death when you're just on your phone, and then all of a sudden you watch one video, and
Yeah.
then you scroll up and you get the next one, the next one, and the next one. How many times do you catch yourself and you're like, man, I just sat there and did that for an hour? And then we could be finding something charitable to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Very true.
So Liz says she's done something similar to that with a company she used to work for.
You know, speaking of Liz, I had technical difficulties. I tried to do a little after party in the backyard, and I was having all this kind of issues and stuff. And Liz was on there, and then when I had reconnected, she never came back. But I did hear this tiny little nugget. Liz is retiring at the end of October. She has
What?
26 days or 27 days left to go.
Wow, that's incredible.
20.
And I'm a little jealous.
Oh, and truth teller, if you belong to our church and you volunteer to provide food for funerals and funeral luncheons, we do that in our community right now. I cook for my neighbors all the time, and our neighbor's about to have a baby, and when we're going to be probably providing some food for them. It's not always about just having it for a funeral, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I like that idea. But you can also provide food for people in your neighborhood anytime if you know what they're going through, or if they post something. If you have a community Facebook page or anything like that, um, it's always a good thing to. Meals are easy to do too. But if you're like Marcus and you're just kind of picky, don't give Marcus food. He won't eat your food. He'll say thank you, and he go like this
just
in the trash.
just check with me first because it's not something I like. I won't eat it.
Welcome back, Yum. Yes, Liz's last day is October 31st.
Halloween.
This year, Halloween came on a Monday.
Me and Ghetto Boys will trick or treat.
Oh, well, congratulations on your retirement, Liz. We'll have to do a good retirement show for you.
Yes.
And then maybe you can get your own personal laptop, join us on Discord so that you can be on the panel and be our producer in real time, not just in the chat. We'd love to have you on. 45 years in one place is a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too many people who've been 10 years at a job right now.
I've been at my job
I,
10 years.
Really?
Yeah. I just
Wow.
May 15th, this past May 15th was my 10th year at where I work.
okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just with my last company for 11 years.
Well, damn. Listen, man.
And I know a lot of people might
So,
not seem like it's a good job, but hey, sometimes working in retail, it's I get good benefits, I get paid good, and you know, can't complain. Why stop?
It's funny because I always joke when I say that I'm a hooker because I always like going to the highest bidder. I could be happy with a position, fine and great, but then as technology comes out and you're going and you're doing these classes, and even if your company sends you on a class for training and you can get certification, if they don't increase your pay because you learned that new technology, somebody else is out there is going to post a job and go, "Hey, Brian, we saw your resume out there online. Are you interested?" And I always go, I'm always interested in opportunities. It's going to tell me if it's a good opportunity or not. So if they had me at this amount and then this other position came out at this amount, and I'm not going to jump off the ship if I haven't been there for longer than 3 years. If it's 3 years, it's the minimum, I will say. I won't leave any company before 3 years if I'm going to the highest bidder. But after 3 years, and that's the curb for technology. It's usually about 3 to 5 years. The technology is going to change, and you need to be learning something different or increasing your skill set. And if you have, and your company's not paying you, I always tell people there are other companies out there that will pay you, unless you just want to have that longevity. And if you stay at one company with technology, you'll learn how they implement and how they do that technology, but you won't learn how other people implement and use that technology. And everybody has a lot of different ways to use technology. Who's gotten banned everywhere this week? What is she? What is Kate Peter Troll Farm graduate talking about? I
It's
shouldn't
got
even
to do
ask.
with all that
I shouldn't
nonsense.
even ask. The conversation guy. Hello. I'm sorry I didn't see you jump in, but hello. Good to see you.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're talking about vested. If you're talking about vested, yeah, if you're looking at your 401k, you want to be an invested employee, get that match in your 401k. I don't blame you.
yeah, let's not talk about 401k right
I'm
now.
gonna say I've been watching my 401k, and it looks like I lost like $100. I'm like, wait a minute.
Man.
But that's another good thing. If you do change companies and you have a 401k, you can roll it over to another 401k. And there's a lot of people now that start your 401k the moment you start, not like after 90 days, 60 days.
Yeah, and some will even vest you much sooner too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like sometimes they do it like in the first year or the 2 years that you join the company, you're vested, you're fully vested, and they'll match.
Yep.
So that's it also depends on the industry too. Sometimes if the industry, if you're comfortable and you can have um the opportunities to move up in the organization, those are always opportunities or things you need to look at too before moving on. But we're not talking about moving on, but we're just talking about other stuff. So Sharon, by the way, who has an organization of golfers that they try to promote women golfers and get them out there to play and everything else. They do work with multiple charities. And even playing charity
Okay.
golf tournaments, which I played with one last year for battered women. Ended up spending like $400 on like raffle tickets or some bidding on those silent auctions. You go in and you sign these little things for silent auctions and all that kind of stuff. I ended up walking away with like stupid crap, and I was like, man, I didn't mean to bid on that one. I didn't know I was going to win that one. I just put my name on there thinking you're going to win one. They start calling my name. I'm like, Jesus Christ, why? Why did I do this? But it was well worth. It was a good cause, and I didn't mind giving the money away because of the cause. But I just want to mention that she is an organization that provides charity work throughout the communities, not here, but also they have chapters of her Diamonds on the Green organization in other cities in Atlanta and other parts of the country, and they have also charity things that they put on there as well.
Okay, very cool.
But I'll be interested to know, guys, on the chat, if there's organizations that you would like to see us. Marcus and I are here in Dallas together, in Texas together. We can go and do something and participate together. Jake, on the other hand, is not, but he could actually, do something similar to what we're doing, similar fashion. Take some pictures, and we'll show you guys that we were out there. Maybe even do a video of you out there doing it. We're not doing it for the notoriety, but we're doing it because as an organization of Drinks and Discussions, we will want to be able to do it. And I know the ladies at Drinks and Discussions True Crime will join us. They are local here in the Texas area as well. Of course, with Sharon and Diamonds on the Green, we could probably forge just a relationship with them on that. So look forward to seeing throughout this holiday season that comes upon us that you'll see a lot of collaboration between us and the other Drinks and Discussion channels doing some charity work. I'm looking forward to it. I just think it's a really good time. It warms my heart. The weather's getting nice and chilly out in the evening. It's dark at 7:30. It'll be getting darker earlier. We won't have to watch the TV in the garage before we can watch the Monday night game against the Eagles, Marcus. We could go straight down, put the projector on right early. We're good to go. We're ready to rock and
roll. Liz just asked why you and Marcus don't sound like Texans.
Well, Liz, let me tell you something there, your lady.
Well,
I don't know why you don't think I sound like a Texan. Explain yourself, young lady.
Gal, listen here, gal. We around here in these parts of Texas talk like this all the time. Now go get me a 40 and
all the time.
Give me a little some of whiskey.
I don't know how we talk here in the South Side of Ohio now, because we here in the sticks we like to drink beer and chew that tobacco and eat the corn and stuff. You know what I'm saying,
I just brushed my horse before I came up and got on the podcast.
That's hilarious.
Sometimes apparently when I talk at work and I'm frustrated, according to my coworkers, a little bit of that backwoods twang comes out in my voice, and I don't even notice it. So,
well, I don't think I've ever had a Texas dialect. I will tell you this. We're on a podcast, and so we're trying to, denunciate our words and, pronounce words correctly. If you...
Good night, Sharon.
Yeah, good night, Sharon. If you are with us when we're just watching the game together or watching with our friends and hanging out, it comes down a little bit. We slur our speech a little bit. You might hear it then, but not right now. You don't hear it because, we're trying to denunciate properly. And also, I've never heard of Jocks for... What was that one? That Karen
Jock Socks
for Veterans.
Jocks.
I've never heard of that charity.
It's not real.
Oh. Okay.
It's got it's this person is with that troll mafia that are messing with Chile. Don't worry about them.
Oh, okay. I don't know how they came to our channel. We don't do any of that.
I don't know either. They probably saw me on there and now they followed me here. So probably.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I've infected our channel.
Yeah, and Thumper's right. You'll get people with a more of a southern drawl down south than you do in the northern area. We're more sophisticated up north and here in these parts.
Yeah, I'm at the ass end of Ohio. I'm literally like I could literally walk to Kentucky from here.
Oh man.
Okay. I'm literally at the ass end of Ohio.
Okay, so the conversation guy says, why can't people in the South do a northern accent? I have a good friend of ours that is from Jersey, and he always tells me about how you can say things in the North where if you're from Boston, it's like you pronounce the last syllable of the word, and if you're from New York, it's the first part of the word that you pronounce harder than the last part. New York. I can't do it, but... When he was telling me how to do it, I did it, but he's not here to hear me say it. But um, I wish I had a northern accent. I wish I could do it. I just can't. I can't do any
Hey,
accents, to be honest
you
with
know
you.
what
Hey
I'm
yo,
talking
hey
about?
yo,
Right
hey yo,
this.
conversation guy. Conversation guy. Let me tell you something, little guy. Let me tell you, this is how it works around here. Okay? I went to Boston one time. I went to Boston, right? And I was playing in a game up there, and the announcer couldn't pronounce my name. My name has an R in it. My name is Marcus. But he kept calling me Marcus.
Yes. Hey, this is happening right here. This on the day of my daughter's wedding. We're right here on this banner with me and
Love it.
with me and my friends, Marcus and Brian. You know what I'm talking about here?
Hey, Jake, what's happening?
Marcus, it's good to see you on this, the day of my daughter's wedding. But picture it, Sicily,
Like I'm watching the Jersey
1925.
Boys here. This is weird.
That's
That's
How'd
actually.
I do, conversation guy?
I
Tell
thought
me
that
how I
was
did,
great.
conversation guy.
I thought that was great. I really thought that both you guys were doing great. Look, don't tell people from the South can't do a North accent.
I watch a lot of
awesome.
movies, so yeah, that's I can do.
What's the guy's name? Little sidekick, his little got funny guy. Dang, what's his name? Whatever. He's a little Hispanic guy, and they were doing last week. They were in New York, and they asked him to do the New York accent, and the guy couldn't. It was the funniest thing because he has a really hard Mexican accent, and trying to do a Boston accent was the funniest thing I think I've seen in a long time. Next to that, Honey Biscuit. And I hope you guys have seen the Honey Biscuit video. If you haven't seen the Honey Biscuit video or the Tasty Biscuit with the honey sauce video on Drinks and Discussions, please go check it out. I think you'll laugh your ass off. And I did not know this, but believe it or not, that was a clip from a movie that they did.
Mm.
And they have other songs that are just as bad, but not as funny. Did we see the movie Fargo? Yes, I have seen the movie Fargo.
I never did. I never saw that.
It's actually a really good movie. It's suspenseful. It's actually pretty good. What else is going on, Jake? You had your grandfather in town. Or you spent some time with him?
Oh no, he lives here. I was just went to go grab some burgers with my dad and my grandpa. You know,
Okay.
we're just trying to spend some time with him because we lost my grandma last year, and he's just been it's getting close to Christmas, and it's getting close to that time of the year, so he's getting it's starting to really hit him hard. So we're just trying to spend some time with him. It's always good to see him, and I hadn't seen my dad in a while, so
Good to get some family
good
time.
to get some family time in.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see my niece and my mom and all them next weekend.
So
Hopefully see my brother too, because I ain't seen him because he's kind of a recluse.
So do you guys want to talk about Herschel Walker? Hey, Mr. B.
Oh, I don't know much.
No idea who that even is.
What? You don't even know who Herschel Walker is?
Heard the name, just don't know who the person is.
Well, I'll give you the gist. He's running for the Senate seat in Georgia. Big anti-abortion dude.
Oh.
And comes to find out, he paid for an abortion for one of his lovers in 2009.
Well, maybe has a change of heart. I mean, that happens, right?
It happens.
You said he's.
But
What did he do? He said
this is one of a lot of lies that he has been telling that has been exposed. I mean, he was talking about black men aren't being fathers to their children. Then it came to find out that he doesn't support 2 of his 3 children, 4 children. He was really being derogatory about, black men in general. And then he wanted to come out and say that our clean air floats over to China's air, and then China's bad air comes over here, and we got to clean that up.
Hmm.
So there's just a lot of things that he was saying that kind of were a little bit weird. And he was ahead in the polls in Georgia, but now he's dropped considerably. I think he's now down by 6-7 points to his leading candidate. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So,
Conversation. He
so
wanted no exceptions. No exceptions to abortion, meaning even if a person was raped by their aunt, uncle, or whatever, a family member, shouldn't say she was raped by their aunt, but um, if they were raped by their relative, no abortion. If it was life threatening, no abortion. So there is now evidence and that he actually supported an abortion when it was convenient for him.
see, I have this troubles me somewhat because I have a different image of Herschel Walker in my head because the very first football camp I ever went to when I was in 8th grade, it was the Doug Cosby Youth Football Camp, and it was in Plano, Texas, at Plano East High School. And I remember to this very day that I took a handoff from the Herschel Walker.
Mm.
We're talking about the running back from the University of Georgia, and I believe he won the Heisman or he was runner up that year. This would have been like in '82. And then, of course, he was part of that dynamic duo in the backfield with the Cowboys with him and Tony Dorsett. But so yeah, I don't know, and I don't know the whole story. I don't have all of the context or the facts. But if he paid for an abortion, back in 2009, and now he has a different view, I don't know if I can fault him. But if he's not being a father to any of his kids, then yeah, I have a problem with that.
People's views change. I get that. People's
Yeah.
views change from day to day or year to year or from an event to another event. Um, but it sounds a little bit more when you talk about abortion and you say it was convenient for me and I paid for it 8 years ago, or whatever the years are. That sounds a little bit empty to me when you say that there are no exceptions. To be that callous when it comes to other women's choices, when you had the choice, you made the choice that was best for you, but you don't want to have that choice left up to someone else. But I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to get into it. I really just wanted to bring it up. I know you guys don't have enough information to delve into it, but I did see something in the chat I wanted to talk about. Mr. B, it sounds like you were in the area of the Hurricane Ian that came through, or even the storm that kind of came after Ian was downgraded. It sounds like you're okay. I actually have some friends and a relative that was not part of it, but I actually had a coworker that lives in Florida, and they had been without power for like a few days. So, Mr. B, I hope you're okay. Love to hear how it was for you. Was it as intense? And one of my good buddies on my that I used to work with when I was working in Sarasota, he works for the sheriff's department. I did not know this. The sheriff, or the colonel, he calls him the colonel. Um, he had to guard the colonel through the storm, and he showed me that he had to stay in the offices, and he showed me his little cot area where he was had a makeshift little bedroom through the whole thing. And then he showed me trees knocked down and everything else after the storm. They weren't hit in Sarasota as bad as Fort Myers, but they were still hit pretty good due to the storms over there.
And Liz says that she tends to have gotten more conservative, or she thinks we get more conservative and mature as we age. Not me, Liz. I'm pretty wild still.
But there's some truth to that. We do. We kind of slow down a little bit. We become a little bit more um, measured in our thinking. We become a little bit more um, stuck in our ways to a certain degree. I agree with that a little bit. But Mr. B said he lost power for a few days back in 2008. Went with for a few days, but back in 2008 he lost power for 13 days. I can't imagine losing power for 13 days.
Uh, Wow.
Because did you lose Marcus when we had the snowstorm here? Did you lose power here?
Mm-mm. It was more of a rolling thing. So it would go off and it'd come on. Yeah, I was off and on. I never lost it for more than uh, gosh, a couple of 2, 3 hours at a time.
Mm. You know,
I
it's fun.
remember when we had a huge windstorm here back in like 2010, 2009, 2010, and oh, we didn't have power for almost a week and a half. I was off school, and then they called us back up and said they finally got power back, and there were trees down everywhere, and just people's properties were destroyed. And there was no rain either. It was just a huge windstorm. And I remember my dad and I were actually at the hardware store, and we were going back home. There were trees down all over the back road. Thankfully, we had two chainsaws in the back, so we just got out in the middle of the street, started cutting these trees out of the street so people could get through. And then we finally get back to the house, and the right where the two front pastures are, the fences are all crashed in from trees, and it was, oh my gosh, it was bad. So we had like maybe 4 or 5 generators hooked up to the house just to keep things going.
Mhm.
It's not nothing compared to what's going on in Florida right now, but still, it was pretty crazy, man. All it was just a big windstorm, no rain, no nothing.
You know, Mr. B said they say in Europe and UK will have serious heating issues this winter. Um, it's funny because when during that winter storm that we had here, we never lost power one time because we're on the power grid for
Uh,
the fire station that's a few blocks down the road. And we did not know this
mm,
until it happened. And while there are people in our neighborhood that were, um, lost power for a couple of days or a couple of hours per day, and it was cold, nobody can get out. We were actually exchanging wood and fire starters and all that kind of stuff because not everybody had the gas fire starters. And our fireplaces here are like you can have a gas starter, but if you lose the key or something like that, it won't start the wood and burn the wood and all that kind of stuff. So people were in dire straits here for a little bit, but we were lucky enough not to have to lose power. And I'll be honest with you, even growing up, I cannot recall a time where my family or I have been in a situation where power was lost for a couple of days or even a day. Been pretty lucky on that. Marcus, you're thinking about it.
uh, yeah, no, I think yeah, that is pretty lucky. That you guys ended up, I guess unbeknownst to you that you were right there on the grid.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
we had some snow here year before last. Maybe it was last. Yeah, it was last year's last winter. We had like a mixed of huge like ice and snow mixed storm. It was so bad that even the smallest of convenience stores were closed. It's like fast food was closed, grocery stores were closed, gas stations were closed. It was ice was just so bad. And right out here in my parking lot, oh, this was so stupid. The plow driver came in and was pushing snow through the driveway. He came back around and pushed a big mountain of it right behind my car and like 5 other cars.
Oh wow.
And overnight, this stuff solidified. So there's like a big ice mountain behind my car.
Hmm.
And it's like, well, thankfully I was off for the next 2 days, so I was able to kind of bust that ice up and move me a spot. But I was like, really, dude, you couldn't just, shovel it all the way down instead of, leave a mountain behind our cars. It's like, oh, and I swear that snow got up to at least halfway of the grill of my car. It was a lot of snow, man.
You know what's
It was
funny
crazy.
because I think it was Liz or the conversation guy or someone over there was talking about generators. And if you live south of Texas, Houston, anywhere near the Gulf. I have a friend, a coworker, a good friend of mine. He lives out there, and he has a generator as well. And he has to have the thing serviced right around hurricane season because he wants to make sure that it doesn't go out on him because they lose power a lot down South Texas, a lot. And if you don't have a generator, you could be SOL for a few days. And not only talking about just your livelihood, but imagine if you have like a fridge full of good food, and then you lose power for a week.
What's happened before when I was like that windstorm I told you about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we lost power. We didn't. My dad couldn't get his hands on his generators because for a few days, and we lost all the food in the house.
Wow.
Yeah, so I know what it's like. We had deep freezers full too, and our deep freeze went out. Our fridge went out, so we lost everything. Even the deer meat that we hunted a few weeks before that, we lost that. It was really good stuff too. So it's like I didn't even get a chance to eat it.
Mm.
I'd be curious to know from Mr. B or anybody else in the chat um, if you've ever ridden out a hurricane, and then Mr. B, if how do you decide if you just if how do you decide if you want to stay or if you want to evacuate?
Good question. Oh, that's so good. And while he's thinking about that too, Mr. B had said something about how California has outlawed all outdoor gas powered, outdoor fuel powered equipment. And that's funny because I've got a lot of people that have in my yard, in my neighborhood, the battery powered Ryobi gas power or battery powered lawnmower and blowers and weed eaters. I have all of those except for a battery powered mower because I have this Honda gas powered mower that I love. It does what I need it to do. And it's just like anything else. If you're a guy, you've got certain things that just work. You never want to leave it. It's like you're married to it. And I'll be damned if Gavin Newsom or anybody else tell me I can't use my gas powered mower.
Yeah.
Take that. Take that, you lefty. What am I gonna call them? Lefty woke mother suckers. I don't know what I was gonna call them.
There's something about the smell of the fumes, the smell of gas, and the smell of the grass. As you're cutting and walking, and I don't know. I kind of miss all that.
Okay, you got your answer though. You got your answer,
Oh,
Marcus, from
oh,
Mr. B.
okay. So, I have written it here. By the time I get there, I sleep like a baby because I'm exhausted from prep. Okay.
I'll tell you what I miss is when I was living out at the farm when my dad when we bought the farm we got the zero turn, man, and I'll tell you what, when you're cutting big tall fields of grass with that thing, you're getting that really like strong fresh cut grass smell with that zero turn, man.
Mm.
Oh man, I miss being. I had to do that because the very first summer we were out there, I had to cut some of it down because we were baling hay. So I had to cut it, and then they'd take the machine and, do all that stuff with it before they bale it. So using the zero turn, that was always fun.
As
So I
we're
know the whole gas and fresh cut grass smell. It's
as we're talking about some of the hurricanes and riding out storms, and Mr. B has said Marie Cook rode out a Hurricane Andrew that was a whole nother level. I am just sitting here thinking as I'm reading these chats, and Jake was talking. I know what a severe thunderstorm is like. And there are times when we have tornadoes here in Texas and tornado sirens, and everybody wants to get in the
Yeah.
bathtub or get in the closet underneath the stairs or somewhere where they think that they're going to be safe. I cannot fathom riding out a hurricane. It just boggles my mind
Mm-mm.
to even think about it.
Yeah. That and a tornado.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't imagine.
we had a tornado here just this past summer up at our distribution center, and they showed pictures of it. The whole I think it was like the whole left side of the building was just crumbled. And then they had one. I remember what was it like back in the 90s or something that there was a huge tornado up in Xenia that just destroyed the place. And then when I was a kid, there was a small one that happened here close to my where when I was living in that old neighborhood that I was telling you about. It was small, didn't do a whole lot of damage, but it just it was enough to like knock trees down and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But I've been through tornadoes. They're pretty scary, man. They're
Well, Liz just hit the nail on the head too on something. Tornadoes, you really have very little warning. You see a storm system, and it has a possibility of spawning a tornado here and there. But hurricanes, you see coming from hundreds of miles. They can track that
Yeah.
storm for days before it get there. So you have prep work that you can do. Um, it's one of those things where a tornado can just come out of the sky like that, even though they might see some rotation. You just never know if it's going to come down and hit your house or destroy a whole neighborhood.
Right.
But tornadoes are kind of like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And it goes past your house, or even if it's devastating, it just goes and goes, and you're done. Hurricanes, from my understanding, they can sit over a certain area for a long period of time and just destroy, 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 destroy. But I could be wrong on that. I'm not a meteorologist, only on Sundays when I predict the Cowboys are going to win. But that's a different story. Still working on my comedy routine. But go ahead, Marcus.
better.
No, I was just reading Mr. B's comment. Actually, I wanted to go back. Liz had a good question. She wonders how the bird populations gets through a hurricane.
They
Wonder how
don't.
do.
They
I wonder how.
move. They know weather patterns before we do, so they get the hell out of Dodge before any of that stuff comes. That's why they fly south for the winter. They're not stupid. They're gonna say, "Hey, let me ride out this damn hurricane or this tornado, man." Sitting on sitting on the power line that's about to be moved around and moved and uprooted. Birds are smart. They're not gonna sit there and do what humans do and just kind of sit around and wait for a disaster to hit.
Oh yeah, they're booking off in the
They're
other
way
direction,
gone.
man. They're getting out. Yeah, they're getting out of town.
Listen, when the sky is gray, I want you to do me a favor. When the sky is gray and severe weather is even close to you, look at the sky and tell me if you ever see a bird. You won't see no birds in the sky.
But
Not
but
one.
sometimes I'll hear them in the trees though. So I just wonder sometimes. No, I feel like I
I
hear
don't know.
something. Hear them.
The other day when I saw it was a little bit cloudy here the other day, looking like it was going to rain. I saw a bunch of geese flying through the air.
And Liz, what are you talking about? What birds can't fly? What birds are you talking about? Penguins? I don't have penguins in Texas. What are you talking about? Birds, they don't fly.
Unless
Chickens
she's talking
technically
about
can't fly.
ostrich. What else?
Uh,
Peacocks, are they considered birds?
yeah, yeah,
Ostriches, first of
technically.
all, ostriches are putting their head in the ground because they know death is upon them. They kind of know where to go. And then peacocks are going and doing what peacocks do. Oh, and chickens. I forgot chickens are foul. Chickens go in the coop and they start fornicating with each other because they don't know how many days they have left. So they getting it on in the chicken coop. That's why they don't have a chicken sedan. You see what I did there? You see what I did?
Yeah.
Look at Jake. He's
I,
like,
I see. I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
If you weren't
But I
paying
agree with
attention.
Mr. B. I agree with Mr. B that birds do have hiding spots. I don't think they all get out of here. I think they do have some hiding spots. I don't know how they do it though, but
Yeah, but then, but I think they can still fly in gusts of wind. But I'm assuming that they also have some casualties as well. I think all wildlife and birds included are part of the casualties in some of these storms. I can't imagine that they are
okay.
not. Even though I'm being funny and trying to have a little levity in this, I think birds are susceptible to casualties just like any other life form when these types of things happen. But I do think that they have some type of sonar that they rely on that dictates, like dogs. I believe dogs can detect weather. Other species can detect weather patterns, and they go into this little thing where they either fly away or try to protect themselves any way they can before that weather comes comes into the area. But I also am not a zoologist. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. I don't know the answer to your question.
I have not seen anything about Sanibel Island.
Yeah, I don't even know about
Apparently
that.
it's-
Who is that?
Apparently, it's been devastated.
Flamingos cannot fly. They can barely stand. They got one leg. I mean, how are they gonna fly off? How you gonna get some speed trying to run down the damn runway with one leg? Trying to fly. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just kidding.
Right? Because they can only use one leg
They
at a
can use
time,
one
right?
leg at a time.
Oh man,
I'm feeling myself today with these comedy. I'm trying to take
That's
over.
hard.
I'm trying to take over the jokes at the end of the show from Mark. It's like, it's my jokes now, man. Come on.
No, 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 no,
No,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no.
no, 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 no,
Like,
no.
nah, you ain't taking Marcus's dad joke corner. No way. That's his and his alone, Brian.
You know, it's funny because I actually did see some things in Florida about some of the people that worked at the zoos that were trying to protect all of the animals and things in their habitats when the hurricane struck.
I think
So
most zoos nowadays have underground enclosures, so where if there is like a tropical storm or some
Mhm.
kind of natural disaster, they take them to those underground habitats and
Right.
shelter them there until it's over. I
I
think.
think
I don't know if that's
I've
true.
heard
but
some stories similar to that. I can't vouch, but say that that's factual, but I have heard the same stories.
yeah, that's yeah, just like you said, I can't say that it's real, but I've heard that there are some places that probably do that
So you know
So they
what's
just to
put
keep
all the
the animals
lions.
safe. What?
Huh.
What, Marcus?
And I was just gonna say, so they put all the lions and tigers and gorillas and elephants in one habitat, one enclosure.
Look, if Noah can do it, so can Bob at the Tabernacle Zoo in Florida. If Noah can do it, so can Bob. Just so you know. Don't talk
Boy,
talk
well,
about
He said
Bob.
at the Tabernacle Zoo.
Tabernacle Zoo. I had to put another I had to put another biblical reference in there just to kind of bring the whole Noah thing into the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But you know what's funny?
That
We're
was
talking
good.
about acts of charity and volunteer service. It had warmed my heart also when I saw some of those acts of heroisms, he, acts of heroism during and the aftermath of the hurricane. And Liz was just getting ready to talk about it too. Um, Oh, she was talking about something else. Birds. I love to see people helping other people. I saw people on jet skis helping other people. I saw people trying to rescue other people. I saw people trying to help other people find lost items, trying to help clean up their neighborhood and help with their trees. And it just bothers me to no end that we are as a society, all over the world is like this, but it's just even here we wait for disaster to strike before we are so willing to help someone else. Rather than saying, hey, I'm going to check on my neighbor because I haven't seen them out mowing the yard in the first couple of weeks, or I haven't seen them on their walks when I see them every night. Just going to go back and say, hey, I haven't seen you, just checking on you, make sure you're okay. People weren't going to be mad at you for knocking on their door for that. People aren't going to be mad at you if you wave. And this, I'm a big waver in my neighborhood. I don't care if you know me or don't know me. If cars come down my street, I'm like this every time. And 9 times out of 10, actually, I would say 7 times out of 10, if you don't wave back at me, I'm going to be pissed at you. But I'm waving at you. I want you to wave back at me. And I want you to understand that we are here, we're friendly, and this is what this neighborhood is supposed to be about. I'm always promoting neighbor and neighborly type behavior. If things go wrong and people will reach out to me and say, hey, can you help us? We've got these people trying to vandalize the pool. What's going on? And they've asked me to join the HOA board and all these other things. Not that I'm trying to brag on myself or anything, but I'm just trying to say, community, when I keep saying this is not an act I do for Drinks and Discussions. This is part of who I am. I really like giving back to people. I love being a part of a
Just for fun.
community. Well, it's just for fun.
Yeah, just for fun. Just for fun joined us.
Oh, hey, just for fun. How are you? Good to see you. I wish more people would give us ideas on what you guys do in your communities that help you keep your community neighborly, friendly. Are you one of those people who are like, when I go into the garage, and we've got people like that, go in the garage, as soon as they park car in the garage goes, and you never see them. And then they go in and they get out of the car, they go out of the car, they back out of the garage, and they keep going, they move. And then there are people who drive like this, and they see people in their peripheral, but still stay like this. Don't worry about looking over and seeing other people waving at you or anything like that. Are you friendly in your neighborhoods? Are you seeking out to be friendly and talk to people even if you don't know them? What about you, Jake?
I got a couple of people that I talk here in my building. Um, but some of the I don't know, like some of them are very just unsavory people. They're just like you'll say hi, how you doing? They'll just kind of look at you like you got 10 heads on your shoulders. But I try to be nice to my neighbors, and there's a couple people that I'm cool with, and
No, no.
but
Listen,
I'm also
listen.
kind of I'm also go ahead.
I'm not telling you that you have to go into seek out people who are unsavory individuals that you know are never going to be friendly, or you want to be friendly with them. But sometimes it takes one small act of kindness that may change their outlook and their whole personality. You might not have to say, "Hey, Bob, how you doing?" I'm trying to be in your face, shake your hand. But every time you saw them and you go, "Hey, yeah, what's going on? What's going on?" and keep it moving. That's what I do to crackheads sometimes. If we go downtown and you got people who are looking for money, especially if there's a black panhandler and they see another black person in that area, they will seek you out, Chief. You're the first person they're gonna seek out. It's because they will say, "Oh, it's another black brother. Hey, brother. Hey, man. Can I get something to eat? Come on, man? Can I get a dollar? I just gotta give. I just need $2 to get on this train. You got $2?" Those people you don't necessarily want to shun all the time. You say, "Hey, man, I don't have any cash. You got one of those portable Venmo. You got Venmo and Cash App." And then they're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" If they're truly displaced. But
Oh, like if
but
someone's passing me in the hallway, it's not like I just go out of my way to be like, oh, hey, let's go grab a drink or something.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just
But
say like,
just say
hey, man, what's
hello.
up? But it's like sometimes they just won't acknowledge me. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's fine, whatever.
Oh, listen, Liz. I'm gonna be honest with you. There are very few people that I will allow not to talk to me. If you're near me, even if I'm sitting at the bar, I've never met a stranger. I will sit there and try to have a conversation with you. I really am a very good conversationalist, even though I'm bad at the live streams on YouTube. I'm a very good conversationalist in real life. And just for fun, what do you mean? My neighbors dare speak to me. Even eye contact is unappreciated. Okay, just for fun is way up here, and everybody else is way down there. Don't look at the help. He's like, all the servants, please do not make eye contact with just for fun. Because if you do, you're fired. And they may never recover your body.
You're
Oh my gosh.
fired. It's-
Um,
I
That's funny,
sometimes say
Mr.
that to
B.
yeah.
people at work if they piss me off. Like they're in the back room and they're just getting on my nerves. I'm like, no, 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 you're fired. Get out of here. And they'll just be like, oh, well, sorry to get in your workspace. I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. Get out of here.
See,
They know not to. Yeah.
I'm like you. I'm like you, Brian. I like to know my neighbors, and I do. I don't go overboard, but I make a conscious effort to try to not to get to know them, but just to try to know them, if that makes any sense. Because anytime I see my neighbors in passing, I'm going to speak or I'm going to say hello. You're not going to be able to walk past me and me not say something to you. It's just not going to happen. Um, and
Or
and
if it's
then
just a
now I
friendly
will say,
nod.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like when I'm driving in the car, I see somebody, I'll just a friendly wave from the car. Now, I will say, I'm in an apartment community now, and my neighbor that used to live next door to me, he passed away about a year and a half ago, but uh, I got to know him really well, and so he knew me, he knew my daughter. So we during Snowmageddon, we would check on each other and whatnot, and to make sure everything was good, and no issues and what. So that's always good. Um, Now I do have some neighbors that no matter how hard I have tried, and it's like I said, it's not overboard. It's just simply saying hello. I cannot get, I can't even get a blink out of them.
Mm.
So, so it's just, and I used to have some neighbors that lived underneath me for about 3 years, and I mean, every time they saw me coming, I felt like they just wanted to run and hide. I'm like, what's like,
So
yeah,
it's funny because there are times where you do get you'll get that. I'll speak to people in the grocery store. Like I'll say. So here's the thing. I think society is missing. If you see me looking at something on the grocery store, and I'm still allowing the
mhm.
aisle to be free for you to walk in front of me, I always say excuse me, even if I'm not making eye contact. I say excuse me as I go through.
Yes.
When people don't, I look at them as they walk by. I'm like, no manners? Are we
Oh yeah.
missing manners
I,
here?
I get very offended with that because I'm like, I'm not the only one that I'm saying excuse me, but really you should have been the one saying.
Right. So let's catch up on some of the things. By the way, I would definitely be cordial. I'm not a person that's just going to always, because I have differencing of political views, wave the one finger salute at Marjorie Taylor Greene. I would love to ask Marjorie Taylor Greene why she said some of the things, and this is what I will tell people all the time. There are people in politics that say things out loud that they would not dare say in private. They don't say in private. They just don't. Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of the people who would say things in public that she's saying in private. She's probably one of the very few. All the other ones say things in private or in public because that's the narrative. But in the private sector, they're like, fuck, I can't stand this dude. I can't stand what we're doing, but I have to get these votes because I still want to stay in power. But I'm going to leave that one alone. Um, what is okay, catch up on the are you guys following the chat, Jake, or anybody's following these chats over here?
Yeah, I'm looking at
uh,
them.
Mr. B, just for fun, apologizing to Mr. B. We appreciate that just for fun. I'm glad you came over here and apologized. I don't know what you're apologizing for. It's between you and Mr. B, but we're glad to have you over here just for fun. Flaky Jake, who said, is because if someone because if it's closed, someone needs to go up there and save the Denver public libraries. They are getting harassed like crazy by Denver frauditors. Feel so bad for them. Yeah, no, I'm not going up to Denver. And Russell Wilson should never gone to Denver either, but that's another story.
ooh, burn.
And
Yeah, I
just
don't
for
get
fun
the
says
whole.
she doesn't even say that excuse me to me. I just if you want to be excused, just ignore me. That's hilarious. Humans need other humans. We're exploring the heavens to find more of us. Sometimes a smile, a nod of the head, eye contact, or even a handshake can have a positive effect. So, Mr. B, you're smarter than me.
Yeah.
Liz, you're smarter than me. But have you heard this? They are going to send a copy of our DNA string into the
Hello.
atmosphere to contact any aliens to let them know that here we are, but then here's our genetic makeup in case that you want to replicate us. Did you guys hear this story?
That makes me cringe. I think one of me is enough. I don't think there needs to be another one.
What are you watching over
Just
there?
saying.
Sixty-three.
Breaking news. Aaron. No, 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 no. Aaron Judge did hit home run number 62 tonight, but the Rangers won the game. Damn it, they won the
What?
game, and but they're still not going to the playoffs. But they won the game.
That's okay.
Oh yeah,
We'll
we beat
take
the
that
Dolphins
win.
last Thursday, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, it's NASA
Oh
that's
yeah.
sending the DNA out there, our genetic code up to space.
That's cringy,
So
dude.
so we're gonna have aliens, mating with our DNA.
They're gonna make skin coats out of our DNA.
I was trying to come up with a joke, but I couldn't. I wasn't that quick. Marcus Marcus got me off. I was a little late on the uptake there, and then I was reading what Just for Fun said. I was trying to stay on between you and Just for Fun. I'm starting to lose my bearings here. I gotta get back on my toes. Gotta get back on my toes. All
That's
right.
baseball, Liz.
Yeah, if we're talking about them sending DNA into space, I bet that's coming from the same people that are saying they're going to bring back dinosaurs. Okay, good luck with that.
I will believe. I'm gonna say two things. Thumper, I agree with you. I don't think there's aliens. And then also, just for fun, Aaron Judge is the real season home run king. I really, honestly believe that. I don't. Even
Okay,
though
so
Sammy Sosa was great, I never was a Mark McGwire fan. Barry Bonds was also not a. I'm not a big fan of that. But Aaron Judge, I believe, hit the 62 home runs legitimately until they come out
So is
with.
that why everybody? I'm sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
Or
Finish.
unless they come out with another DNA sample that says he cheated too. So let me just know that there are ways of cheating, and he might have done it. So I'm going to be devil's advocate and say he's a cheater. Put it out there first. Drinks and Discussions, breaking news.
So is
Kidding.
this why everybody's making such a big deal about the American League record? I'm thinking, I thought the record had been broken a long time ago. So, but they're making a big stink. Oh, it's the American League record. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
shit.
All the cheaters were in the National League. So this is the American League.
Ah, but I just get tired head over it. I mean, they they all cheat. They all cheat. It's just who gets caught and who doesn't. They all do it.
Oh yeah. Even if you cheated up until this point, you still cheated to get to this point. I 100%
You
agree
still
with
cheated.
you
Yep.
that there are specimens out there that perform at a higher level than the normal person. Always has to have some type of help. I love to see the stories that break the records and all that, but I don't get up for all those records and all that kind of stuff. It's hard for me to fathom that Steph Curry needs to have performance enhancing drugs in order to shoot a 3-pointer the way he does. It's hard for me to also understand
Right.
that even if you gear up and you can hit 62 home runs and you get a 98 miles per hour fastball and your eye and hand coordination is still superior to other people, how that propels you to break records. It's still something that I don't understand. I don't like talking about it, but I still believe that there's always help that these athletes are always taking, cutting edge
Mm-hmm.
supplements that help them do what they do. More power to them. I'm not dogging them for it. More power to them.
Yeah,
uh,
just because
Liz, Liz
the
said,
next closest person is. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jake.
I was saying, Liz said, "Woe is me," because you're talking about sport.
Well, she
Oh.
said she was talking about her autograph is or was in orbit, and all y'all can talk about is baseball. Was your autograph on a Goodwill card from a previous abortion that you helped pay for? No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was
Dun, dun, dun.
just kidding. But it is kind of neat. It's kind of neat that you got some little piece of you that's out in orbit. I've got a time capsule with some things that I would like to recover, and I think it's coming up in the 50-year Spring Ridge Elementary graduating class of 4th grade. Do you have a time capsule, Marcus, somewhere?
I'm wondering. I don't. At Forest Ridge Elementary is where I went. I wonder if I should reach out to them and just say, hey, just curious. Huh.
We're talking about time
Interesting.
capsules
Yeah.
because, believe it or not, in my old neighborhood, in my backyard at my old house, me, my brother, and two of our friends had a bunch of stuff that we put in a box, like a metal box. It was like a metal cash box that my grandpa had. And I guess you could say it's technically a time capsule because we put a lock on it. We dug like an 8-foot hole in the ground, wrapped it in a plastic bag. We didn't mark it or anything, so it's probably still back there. I think somebody bought that. I think somebody bought that house. But it's right in the corner of the backyard, right where my dad put a fence up. Actually, no, we buried it right before he put the fence up because I remember we buried it close to part of the woods, and my dad put the fence up like maybe 2 or 3 feet in front of where we buried it. So yeah, it's probably still buried out there in the woods. But no, we put like a what did we put in? I can't remember.
Listen,
I think it was like a CD player and some kind of action figure and a poster. It was something. We put like a bunch of different stuff in there. And now that you brought that up, it made me think about that. I was like, oh my God, we buried that cash box in that backyard, part of the backyard, and it's probably still there. So that's kind of like a time capsule, I guess.
let me tell you something. I am telling you right now, we were so concerned about doing a time capsule. Nobody ever figured out that there was probably never anybody that actually did it or was going to remember that we did it. And just like my grandmother, who started a bank account when I was 5 that had $25 in it, I ain't seen that account either. I don't know where that account is either. Somebody needs to tell me. This interest for that long a period of time is going to make me rich. I don't know where that money is. I don't know where the time capsules are, but somebody's going to be digging a housing community somewhere, and they're going to be uncovering all these time capsules that everybody thought was so clever by doing, and then it's going to be funny as they start unearthing. Just like the people who used to throw those bottles with the notes in them in the ocean. That used to be a thing. People are starting to recover those little bottles of things that were floating in the air, and like the dead bodies that they never thought that anybody would uncover. When this climate change is like receding these lakes, they're finding all these dead bodies. You gotta be careful what you try to put in the ground, man. They're gonna finally come to fruition, catch you.
That's why I said, I was like, I don't even remember exactly what we put in that box, but I'm like, it's like, man, what if someone digs it up and finds like a nudie magazine or something? Like, it wouldn't surprise me because, grown kids like us, wanted to look at stuff like that. But
hey, I saw Vanessa Williams when I was a kid.
But no, that makes me think, what if someone digs that up and finds a whole bunch of stuff in there? It's like, what is this?
Hey, Marcus, hold on. You could tell that was from the 80s.
Yeah.
Because I remember that well. I remember that well.
Yeah.
Definitely in the 80s.
Oh, man.
Wasn't there.
Yeah, I went there. Well, you need to go back in time. Back in the day, before there was Pornhub and whatever the other ones are, you had to go to a bookstore in order to see pornography. You had to go get Playboy and Hustler magazines and all these other ones. And I got a story.
Penthouse.
My dad had a stash that I came across once. I found it.
Listen, the funniest thing is, if you didn't have access to that, especially if you were black, there was always Jet Magazine and Beauty of the Week.
Oh, yeah. Jet Magazine. Oh, man, that's a blast from the...
Yes, wow. I'm trying to tell you.
Didn't Sports Illustrated do a swimsuit model kind of...
They started doing that in the mid-'80s, and Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazine was the best because you could see through some of the swimsuits. Man, yes. Look at Kate. Kate, good job. Not Vanessa with the singing career, but the X-rated video queen.
Video queen, yeah.
The freaks of the industry.
Called the happy
The freaks of the industry. That's awesome. Man, that's good. Man, that reminds me back of rest in peace, Shock G. But dang, freaks of the industry, we used to be the jam, the jammy jam.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Speaking of rest in peace, we lost Coolio last week.
yes,
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
I did that on
Man,
the after party. I forgot to mention it again here.
Oh,
But I did this
okay.
little. Nobody watched it. It was just kind of me, just hanging out in the backyard, smoking a cigar, me and cameraman. But yeah, did they ever reveal how he died? Was it just natural causes, heart attack, or what?
he
I
was what,
haven't
like
heard anything, but that
58?
yeah, something like that. I
He's
haven't
still
heard anything,
young,
but
man.
that doesn't mean.
Oh man, I didn't hear anything about how he died. All I heard is that he did, and I was like, no freaking way.
Oh my God. Flecky Jake Liz is first of all, she had to remind me of something. National Geographic was one of the first things in elementary school when you saw naked boobies in National Geographic magazines. But I don't know if I got turned on by watching it or not because I was in elementary school, so I don't really know if I was going in there looking for porn. Um, they should be banning National Geographic movie books from the library immediately, right now. Um, yes, and Loretta Lynn died at 90 this yesterday or today. Yes. And Liz does not know who Coolio is. So I'm not going to
Look up
explain it to
Gangster's
her.
Paradise. You'll know who he is.
Gangsta's Paradise, and then the he had the movie Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Mm-hmm. And he also did slide, slide, slippity slide.
Yes.
What's the song?
Uh,
Come
uh,
along and ride on the grand. It wasn't the original
yeah,
Fantastic
Slides. Yeah,
Voyage, but it was a
it
Coolio
was.
rap song.
Yes, it was. And those were his two biggest hits. That
Hmm.
song and then Gangsta's Paradise. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
I think Gangster's
Fantastic Voyage.
Paradise
It
came
was
out when I was a
fantastic.
kid.
It is Fantastic
Yes.
Voyage. It was called Fantastic Voyage. Just a remake of it.
I think Gangster's Paradise came out when I was a kid. That was like mid '90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a gangster show with
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Put Michelle Pfeiffer really on the map because she was kind of sexy feature.
Yes.
And all the brothers love to see Michelle Pfeiffer in that movie.
Oh yeah, she was on my list. Yep, she sure was.
Yep, she definitely was. Absolutely.
I'll tell you who's a real sexy actress, man. Is Kat Dennings, man. She is hot. Woo! You ever seen Kat Dennings?
Wait a minute. You just like big boobs, Jake. Simmer down over there, man. This all you want
Hold
is
on.
big boobs.
Let
it
me
She's
ain't
got
just
big
that,
boobs and
man.
that's it.
Dude, she's
hold
got
on.
curves,
I gotta
man.
look
God.
her up.
No, yeah. Listen, she's a voluptuous girl. She's not ugly, but you're going at her like she's like some 10. And Kat Dennings is funny and she's good looking, but she is
Oh.
not
In my book, she's a solid
super
10,
hot.
dude. I will give her a 10.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Kat Dennings
Oh.
is the one who played in Two Drunk Girls or Two Broke Girls.
Two Broke Girls. She was
Yes.
also in the first Thor movie.
She was also in the first Thor movie. Yes. Scarlett Johansson is okay. She's just okay. Everybody liked Halle Berry, of course.
I just sent you something, Brian, that I just found on the internet.
Okay. Oh boy. What'd you do? Send it to me in what? In Discord? Oh,
I texted
oh,
it to you.
snap. That's
That was one of the images on the internet.
that's not
So-
a bad
so
that's
that's
not
why-
that's not a bad depiction, to be honest with you. It's not a bad depiction. It's close.
No, she's a very attractive
Voluptuous person.
lady.
Yeah, she's a very voluptuous person. Kate Peter Troll, Farmer Girl News Now. Lisa is a sexy actress. Listen, I have very, 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 very. I'm gonna rephrase this. I've only seen News Now Lisa once.
I've heard of her. I don't know.
You got to
exactly
check
who
her out,
she is.
Chief. She's a very she's I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna say she is a very well put together individual. I don't know what she does. I don't watch her channel, but I did see her on someone else's channel for a brief second, a few months ago. No complaints. That's all I would tell you.
What's her name? News Now Lisa?
Yeah, you might want to look it up on YouTube. I will
I'll
tell
do
you,
that.
as far as I don't see, you know what's funny? When I'm talking to my wife, I don't even know if who my wife goes, oh my God, he's a handsome individual. She won't ever tell me. I don't know. Um, but she will always I think somebody's attractive, but she won't ever like say. She actually, 'cause I think, um, who's God dang it, why am I drawing to a blank? The singer that has her own talk show now. Kelly Clarkson is on The Voice. I
Mm.
think Kelly Clarkson is talented, talented, talented. And I just love her personality. I think my wife thinks that I think she's cute or something. I'm just like, I just think she's a talented
Mhm.
person. I don't think she's like super sexy or anything. I never really was a big Britney. I was over more of a
Christina Aguilera.
Aguilera. Yes, more of a Britney.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Nancy Reagan was
yep.
underrated. So is Jill Biden.
So yeah. Oh man.
I love the jokes on the. Hey, listen, you guys keep it coming over here in the chat. I love keeping it light, and you guys are not disappointing. This is so funny. I will tell you. I got a funny story to you, by the way. We were talking about Vanessa Williams. So I had a friend of mine who was visiting us from a different state who was also a Jehovah's Witness at the time. And when he was leaving to go to the airport, and it was one of those things, we used to go to the mall. So here's the thing about dirty magazines, guys. If you didn't know this, they used to not have those covers in front of them, those little things that cover them up, and you have to tear them open to buy them. They used to just be magazines. And you can just pick up those magazines and flip through them if you wanted to, right in the store. If you want to get a hard on at 7-Eleven, feel free. But then they started saying, okay, then they moved them behind the counter and put them on higher shelves. And then they put them behind this cellophane or this plastic so you can't even see anything. But before all that happened, we were getting ready to take him back to his airport because he spent like a summer with us. And he and I were at the airport. And we said, hey, we're going to go walk around while the flight's gone, before the flight gets here. So what you used to do is you take a Sports Illustrated magazine, you grab a Playboy magazine or another magazine, and you put it inside the Sports Illustrated magazine, and you act like you're looking at the Sports Illustrated magazine, right?
Yep. I did that trick.
Yep. Okay. So that was the trick. Man, we're at the airport, dude. And next thing you know, it's my dad. My dad bust us. We're looking at nudie magazines at the airport. I think I was probably grounded for a month. I think she
So
was.
My dad never really I mean, he gave me like a stern talking to, but he never really grounded me because I guess when he was my age, when I found those, my grandpa kind of, my, my grandpa was a little bit more unrelenting when it came to punishing. So I guess my dad didn't want to do that. But I guess at the same time, he was like, yeah, he's a growing boy, he's going to be seeing that stuff. He's going to be interested. So I wasn't really like grounded. Now, when it came to my mom, that was a different story. She'd ground the shit out of me.
Mm. Moms are the.
so I got
Go ahead.
I got one for you. I got one for you guys. Check this out, Jake. So Brian, you may or may not remember, but there used to be 1-900 numbers. You remember those?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I've heard of 1-900 numbers.
One
I've
nine
never
hundred
used
numbers.
them, but
So
I've heard of them.
so I was probably I couldn't have been more than heck, Brian. I may have been in junior high school when this happened, but I totally got busted by my mom because and I say we, it was me and then a friend of mine who was the same age, that lived across town from me. We used to call these 1-900 numbers and listen to these women, say
Nine
things
seven
to us
six
on the
nine
phone.
seven six numbers. Yes.
97.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Those things.
Listen to these women say
Thanks,
stuff to us,
Kate.
and we didn't know. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. And we didn't know that they were charging us because I didn't know how the phone bill worked. But man, my mom got a hold of that phone bill from that month. Ooh, man. Boy, I got it. I got it good, and not in a good way.
You don't want to get it like you get it from a Southern Baptist mama, boy. You don't want to get it.
No, you do not.
Yes, Daisy Dukes and Catherine Back are still alive. Daisy Dukes started the whole trend of the shorts. I'm trying to figure out who did I really have a crush on. So it was Ella McPherson for me.
Okay.
Elle McPherson was like because I watched this show that came on HBO when I was young. It was called Sirens. If you've never seen Sirens, I'm not sure exactly how old that movie is, but it actually has the guy who plays Doctor whatever his name is in the Jurassic Park movies.
Oh, I love Jurassic Park. I heard Jurassic Park. What about Jurassic Park?
Who's the doctor? The guy who comes in and has the original one. He's the guy that is the person digging up the bones, and he wants to come in, and they want him to put his stamp of approval. Dr.
Dr. Grant.
Dr. Grant.
Sam, played by Sam Neill.
Yes, he's in Sirens with Elle McPherson, and Elle McPherson is in all her glory. I don't remember Catherine Bach, Mr. B. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore. Get out of here. Mary Tyler Moore. It was probably Jan Brady for a lot of us too, by the way. Jan Brady could everybody had a crush on Jan Brady.
Laura Dern had it going on back in the Jurassic Park days. Even when she got older, man, she still got it. In the new Jurassic Park movie, she still looks pretty good.
She doesn't do anything for me. She just doesn't.
No.
Listen, here, let me twist it to you like this. If you could look like any guy, who would you look like? Denzel Washington's off the table.
Ozzy.
Oh my God, you're close. You're in close running for second place there, Big Jake. You're already in close second.
Just need the glasses, and I could probably just sit here like this.
He's already moved back to the UK, so he's no longer in the US. So,
yeah.
Would that be your top choice, really, as Ozzy?
I think my second runner-up would be Dimebag, except my hair would have to be poofy and curly, and I'd have to have the tip of my beard colored red, and that'd have to be my second runner. Old Dimebag Darrell Abbott, one of my favorite musicians on the planet.
So
Dimebag Darrell. He died. He was from here. He was from the DFW area.
Yeah,
he was from Arlington.
He used to play down in Deep Ellum all the time.
That's right. Is that the one that they called Meatloaf, right?
Pantera.
Yeah, Pantera.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Pantera actually played a bunch of bars out there in Texas when they were actually they were kind of like a glam rock band. And then when Phil Anselmo got with them, that's when they started going towards the hardcore stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're all. Did you know Diamond Vinny actually formed Pantera similarly to how Alex and Eddie Van Halen formed, because they were two brothers in the same band. Alex Van Halen was on drums, and Eddie Van Halen was on the guitar. Vinnie Paul was on the drums, and Dimebag was on guitar. So they're kind of similar in a few ways. Two brothers founded two great bands.
So, Marcus, who did you idolize as a male growing up? And I saw Liz said Tom Selleck and Billy D. Williams. And growing up, even with before Star Wars, before Lando, Billy D. already had a name for himself when it came to, the silver screen and some of the black movies. He played a lot of movies, and then he also did the famous Colt 45 commercials.
Mm. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
the "Don't Let the Smooth Taste Fool You" came from Billy D. Williams.
Really?
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yes, sir,
I know that.
Ron.
That guy was a great actor, dude.
I wouldn't call him a great actor. He just was a good-looking dude at a time where black men weren't being represented um, in a lot of movies. He was one of the forefront leading black heartthrobs there were. And then there came Todd
Here's
Bridges.
here's a quick story for you. When me and my ex were standing in line to get our autograph from Stan Lee, Billy D. Williams, we were standing right next to a guardrail, and Billy D. and his guards were walking right past, and he was literally less than a foot away from us, and he walked right past us, and we're like, "Holy shit!"
Really?
Billy D. Williams is walking right past us, and he's like right there, like less than arm's length away, and he looked right at us, and he kind of just walked off, and looked right at my ex or my girlfriend at the time, and we were, did that just happen? And then 5 minutes later, Stan Lee comes out.
Wow.
That was a hell of a day. That was at the
Yeah.
Cincinnati Comic Expo, man. That was a
And Billy
great
D.
day.
Williams is like a 6'1", 6'2", tall guy. He's not a small guy. A lot
Yeah,
of
he's pretty tall.
actors
dude.
actors these days, like the Tom Cruise that we're talking about, the conversation guy, and even Eddie Murphy are not tall. Eddie Murphy, I believe I heard something saying that Beverly Hills Cop was he acted and drew kind of like inspiration from Billy D. Williams because he was a charismatic guy. And then he was also kind of like this hardcore kind of guy that was, you know, the Billy D. Williams type.
Liz, I wish I did, because being that close to him was just, it's hard to believe. Hard to believe.
Obama being hot? What? I ain't never heard anybody say Obama is hot.
I know.
Oh my God,
What?
Flaky Jake, Liz, I know you and your fascination with Chris Pratt, and I just will never understand it. I will never understand anybody thinking that Chris Pratt is hot. I just won't ever get it.
My mom is obsessed with Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, I get. I get Chris Hemsworth. I get it. Chris Pratt is a flubby. He looks like a regular Joe. He's got a great wit to himself. I don't think he's ugly, but he's not a heartthrob at all.
Oh, Jason Momoa, you know, he's up there too with the ladies.
If you like the rugged
Yeah,
homeless
he gets
look,
a lot of.
I'll give him credit. He did a great job as Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones. I've got to give him that.
but he also lost Lisa Bonet. So what does that tell you?
Ooh. He still got the plow Amelia Clark in Game of Thrones. Lucky
But
bastard.
it could be Lisa Bonet is coming down and he's coming up and he's like, I gotta go out. You gotta go. So I get it, Marcus. I get what you're thinking. See what you're putting down.
Well, so now, so you were asking about male, I guess, figures that you kind of tried to emulate or
Yeah.
model. So this may be controversial, but I'm able to separate the real person from the actor. But Dr. Cliff Huxtable was someone that I tried to emulate growing up, and then I even patterned I used some of his humor and the way that he would approach things in life, just dealing with his kids. I used some of that, in raising my kids.
That's the Jeffersons,
I get it.
right?
No, that's Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
It's the
Bill
Cosby.
Show.
Yeah, that's why I said Cliff Huxtable, because I didn't want.
I was like, wrong show.
You know what? I get it. I get that because we all had Bill Cosby sweaters. We always wanted to be like Bill Cosby, and we wanted to be like Theo.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go way back on you. So I'm not gonna cast aspersions on you for saying that. But even though Bill Cosby is kind of shunned, but I will tell you this: Archie Bunker was her hero. George Jefferson was mine. I walk like George
George,
Jefferson. I walk like George Jefferson to this day.
little Sherman Hemsley.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Um, but my when I was growing up, it was always Todd Bridges growing up because
Mm,
he had Kim Fields. He was dating
yeah.
white girls. It was just Todd Bridges everywhere when it comes to black role models. And then if you know me, you know what I'm about to say next. Because there's 5, 6. And I'm going to tell you all of them. I want to be each and every last one of them. Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Ralph, Johnny too. I want to be
There's
all
the
of them.
boys in the hood.
Man, you boys to the hood, shut your trap when you're talking to me. You don't you shut your mouth when you're talking to me, Big Jake.
Is that what I was just guessing
But
because I heard Ricky. I
But
was
anybody,
like,
does anybody know where that quote's from? By the way, anybody know? It's from Wedding Crashers. It's the opening scene when she goes, "You shut your mouth when you're talking to me." No, it's not the Jacksons, Kate. It's New Edition. New
New Edition.
Edition.
oh, because when you said Ricky, I was like, he's naming off. He said Ricky. I'm like, is that Boys in the Hood?
Oh yeah, that's now Ricky is not. That's not Boys. I know what you're talking about in Boys and Hood, but that's not him. It's not the Jacksons, but it was. I have been even up until yesterday when I was singing when I was cooking. I would think I was like Ralph yesterday. I wanted to be Ralph. I was Ralph yesterday in the kitchen. I think my wife will tell you I was Ralph, and then I was Tevin Campbell, and then I was.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. I remember
Can we
Ted.
talk for a moment? Girl, I want to know your name. Can we talk? I ain't gonna go anymore. But Red Fox used to be good too.
Yeah.
Have to get
Ronnie,
me
oh,
going
look at
there,
Kate.
man.
Ronnie, Rob, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. I love the girl. Who cares who you like? Shit, yeah, hell to the yeah. I don't know who Kate Peter Troll fam is, but that's some person. If you know that, you can't go wrong with me. If you know that, you can't go wrong with Drinks and Discussions. Hands down. Cool it now. Watch out.
Yeah.
Trying to tell you.
Got to slow it down.
Oh, Mr. Telephone Man. There's something
That was the
on
first
my
one
mind. When I dial my
that got
baby's
me.
number, I get a click every time. I know all the moves. Can't pass me on the New Edition move.
When I dial 611 to be of service.
She said, hello,
She said,
may I help
hello,
you,
may I help,
please?
please?
I told her something must be
It
wrong
must
with my
be wrong
phone.
with my phone, 'cause my baby wouldn't hang up on me.
You know what? And Bobby used to sing a
Oh, you
lot
killed my
more back
vibe.
in the day too, by the way. He used to sing on that song. I thought it was a lot more Ralph, but when you get a listening ear for the group growing up, I understand the difference between Bobby back then and then Ralph back then as well. But they were very similar singers when they were adolescents. Trying to tell you, Flanky Jake or Liz, man, you can't pass me or Marcus on New Edition. You so look, we fanboy over New Edition.
Mm-hmm.
Fanboy, New Edition. That's it. Sorry, that's just what I do. And because I get this all the time, even when I go to the so somebody at the golf club the other day that I play with, he called me, and I wanted to punch him in the mouth, but I didn't. He called me Urkel. And I said, okay, I might be Stefan, but I am not Urkel. I'm Stefan, but I'm not Urkel. But if you call me,
Look what you did.
did I do that? If anybody calls me Carlton, I get it. I get that all the time. I get Carlton all the time. All the time. Literally. I don't
It's
mind
like,
calling somebody
seriously?
calling me. I think Alfonso Ribeiro, who by the way was the first kid and he got his break in the Michael Jackson Pepsi commercial. Because you didn't know that.
Oh, yes, the one where his hair caught on fire. Um,
Kate is funny. What did you hear that one? Oh my God, Kate went way old school. She said, "I thought Baby Barack was funny." Kate definitely has been on other channels. Kate, whoever this Kate Peter Troll Farm person is, oh my God, I did get called Baby Barack one time. Some racist prick just did call me that. He did. I took it like a champ, though. I took it like a champ. But I was called a spook the same night. I think there was Baby Barack and Spook was what I was called that night. But I'll take Carlton. I'll take Carlton all day, every day.
I love me some disco, Liz. I will get out in the middle of the dance floor and tear it up with some disco.
Name me one disco song, Marcus. I don't think you can.
Um, do the hustle.
No, you got to get 5 seconds of singing of it. I don't know what the hustle is. What does that mean?
I don't know the words of the song. That it goes. I'm gonna try to whistle it for you. I don't know the words because there's no words to the song. Yeah,
Do the hustle.
there's no words. Yeah, do the hustle. That's it.
That's it, dude. That's it. You know what's so funny? So when I think I told the story when I was in an apartment, I used to live upstairs from a friend of mine who got married, knew him and his fiance or his wife at the time, and he was from Canada and he loved ABBA. So we went to go visit some friends and family of his in Temple, Texas, and the whole way there, I was introduced to ABBA. Dancing Queen, watch us dream, digging the dancing, whatever. That's disco to me. Look at Jake. He's like, I used to listen to that kind of stuff, and
God,
believe it or not, Earth, Wind, and Fire also is part of that disco era.
that
Oh
song, I
yeah.
wouldn't consider that disco.
But
That's
it
more like,
is.
Yeah.
Bee
is it?
Gees, Bee Gees, disco. Gloria Gaynor, disco.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Staying Alive. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you. That's all
Yeah.
disco
Now
era.
I love Bee Gees too. I like their music too.
Wasn't wasn't Aretha Franklin? Wasn't she disco or was she
No. She's blues and um
blues?
she was way like in the 60s,
Oh,
some 70s, but I don't think she was. Casey and
oh,
the Sunshine Band definitely
T-
the
Tina Turner was. What about her? Wasn't she part of that crowd, the disco crowd? Tina Turner, or was it?
um
Or was she more like the? I swear, Tina Turner was part
no
of disco at one
no
point.
Tina Turner and Ike were like in the early 60s and 70s, and then she came out and did her own thing, and she was in the 80s and she was more R&B. That was not disco.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who Jimmy Bullhorn is. Anybody know who that is? I don't know, Flick and Jake. But I do know Casey and the Sunshine Band was definitely disco. The Bee Gees, disco. Um, who else was some disco people? Anything with big horns and dance music and bell bottoms was disco to me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's disco. That's that era.
Kate said Ike was a great role model for young black men. How to keep your woman in check. Yeah, damn right. Ike was a role model. The pimp hand is strong with Ike. Pimp hand was strong.
Donna Summer, Casey
Yes,
and the Sunshine Band,
Donna
Boney M,
Summer definitely was disco.
Sister Sledge, Cool in the Gang,
Yes.
Village People,
Oh, I
Earth,
forgot
Wind
about
and
Cool in the
Fire.
Gang. Where's Cool in the Gang? Where have they been?
You got Earth, Wind and Fire. Michael Jackson was part of disco at once. I think
Was he
that's what
considered?
it's.
Yeah, Dinah Ross did some disco. You're right. Yes, you're right. Everybody did
Melba
disco one
Moore.
time. Melba Moore did
Uh,
disco.
yep.
Really?
Rick James, he did disco for a while.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the.
I looked up a list and you got like a bunch. You got like the Spinners, the Ritchie family, the Jackson Five, the Isley Brothers. It says Aretha Franklin was in the disco scene for a while.
Hmm.
Van McCoy, A Taste of Honey, Carol Douglas, Prince,
Who is Van McCoy? I saw somebody put that in the chat. Who is Van McCoy?
Soul City Symphony. Van McCoy, and the Soul City Symphony. Well,
So you mean to tell me you guys are saying that Michael Jackson Off the Wall was disco music?
he's on the list right here.
Off the Wall?
Yes. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe that because that album had a much different sound than his Thriller album.
Is
Much
that the one?
different
Is
sound.
that the first one? That's what with Billie Jean and all that.
No,
That's kind of
that's
like a
Thriller.
disco song.
No, that's Thriller.
Thriller.
Oh,
Yeah,
That
that's
was not
Thriller.
yeah,
disco.
Oh,
yeah,
I will
yeah. Off the
say,
Wall.
okay, Off the Wall. You would give that a disco theme.
Yeah, I would give that a disco nod for sure.
I will give you because I was listening to some. So I was listening to some of the slow songs off of the Off the Wall album last night. Didn't hear any of the fast ones, but She's Out of My Life is on that. That's one of my favorite sentimental songs. If I'm like in my mood or I just want to like be emotional and just kind of hang
Mhm.
back. She's Out of My Life is good music for me. And so I was listening to some songs off the wall album. But if you listen to like Off the Wall and I can't help it if I wanted to, I can't help it, baby. If those are all kind of disco songs that you mentioned it.
Yes, yes. And then I like Rock with You too. That's one of my favorites. I wanna rock
Rock
with
with you.
you.
That's on
All
Thriller.
night.
That's on Thriller.
Is that? Oh, that is on Thriller.
Come on,
when you
man.
guys say
You
I,
would have
when you
got you know
guys said
lost
I
your
want
Michael
to,
Jackson card right then and there.
when you guys said I want to, when you first said I want to rock, that made me think about Twisted Sister for a second. I
Oh
want
I
to
wanna
yeah.
rock,
rock.
rock. God, I love
Mm,
Twisted
mm,
Or
Sister, dude.
mm.
we're not
Gonna
gonna take
take
it.
it. No, we're not gonna take it. So here's a question for you.
I love
Here's a
Twisted
question
Sister.
for you, Big Jake.
Uh-huh.
Growing up, I'm gonna preference this whole comment by saying something.
Right.
I am a culture club fan.
Oh, yep, yep,
Okay, always have been, always will be.
Yeah.
Love Boy George.
yep.
I love what they did even before I knew he was a crossdresser. I just thought, man, this is a pretty person that's on TV. I didn't know if it was a girl or a guy. And they made great music. It wasn't
Yep.
like I didn't think it was like Vanessa Williams and looking to try and find them on the cover of magazines. It was just something that I enjoyed. I didn't think about anything sexuality when it comes to Culture Club.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Twisted Sister was
Yeah.
a hard rock cross-dressing band.
Yeah.
And people never say anything about their impact on the hard rock genre. And I think that there were trendsetters. I think that there are other people who were like wearing makeup before them, like Kiss and other people and all that kind of stuff, but there was makeup for just like, performance things.
Yeah.
But Twisted Sister came out as being cross dressers.
Right.
And nobody has a problem with Twisted Sister. Are am I lying? Or do people think that if you're a Twisted Sister fan, that you're like something's wrong with you? You're queer or something?
No.
So
I
why is
think
that?
that
Why is that? If that's the case,
I think it just in some of their music. Well, because I also watched some of the video of when Dee Snider was in court about uh the court trying to stifle their free speech in the music they were. I think it's some of the things they're saying in the music, like yeah, we're not gonna take it. Like people telling them that they're not gonna listen to what other people tell them. I think that's maybe they just people were listening to their music and they're like we don't care what you think about how we look, or maybe it was something they were conveying in their music or something, just or maybe it was just
No, it's
what
not
was
even about the
popular in
music.
the
So
80s, because
so
there was a lot of bands out there that were doing the same thing that Twisted Sister was doing. You got bands like, what do you got, like Motley Crue and Cinderella and bands like that did the exact same thing.
mhm.
I'm pretty sure that they did that, but or yeah, maybe like you said, they were it was a trend, and I guess they really popularized it by adding to the glam rock scene by putting on women's clothes and doing all that stuff. Like I wasn't around during that time, but that's just my pull on the whole
So
thing.
I'm not trying to go like in a kind of a tangent on like the temperature of the climate that we live in, but when people are always talking about how kids are being exposed to different things that they shouldn't be exposed to, we were exposed to cross dressers. Our our parents in their generation were exposed to, as like Kate was saying, with Aerosmith and the Stones, that were bisexual, and Richard Pryor was a legend in comedy. Came out early on as being bisexual. There were a lot of people in culture that preceded us, our predecessors in entertainment, that maybe had to have a glass screening or hide behind closed doors to a certain degree because they couldn't come fully out. But there were people who were like Richard Pryor who came out and just said, you know what, I've had sex with homosexuals before and transvestites before,
Well, look what
and
happened with Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury did the same thing. He wasn't. He came out. I think he was bi. I don't think he was fully gay, but uh, if you've
no, he was
seen
gay.
Queen's, if
He
yeah, if
was
you've seen
100%
Queen
gay.
play, oh, he was. I was always under the impression he was bi. But anyway, if you've seen how Freddie Mercury dressed,
He
and
was a
nobody cared about
flamboyant
that.
gay, and he was a flamboyant gay individual that couldn't come out to express himself earlier on in his career because of the stigma that was attached to coming out at the time. I have had
And
gay relatives back in the day that when my gay relative would come over to my grandmother's house, my mom and dad would usher us into a back room so that we couldn't associate or talk to him until we got
but
older.
still, I think people still saw past that because he was such a great musician, though. I don't think it was. I think people were starting to not care so much about what he was. It was just the music he was making.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look back now and you listen to his music, like the live stuff, and even some of Queen songs that you'd never heard, it's like this guy was just phenomenal. He's a great vocalist. Like the guy was a great artist. And now conversation guys talking about Rob Halford from Judas Priest. If you've ever heard Judas Priest,
Yeah, I've heard of Judas Priest. Yeah.
that guy can sing. He's got some pipes on him.
Oh.
He's a great singer. Now that doesn't if since he's gay, that doesn't change the fact that his music's good.
That's
That's
my whole
just who
problem. That's my whole problem with the narrative is you can contribute to society no matter what your sexuality. Not
yeah,
necessarily everybody wants to know what your sexuality is. It's really nobody else's business what you
right.
do. But at the end of the day, there are doctors who are homosexuality that you should allow to operate on you. And if you think that they can't operate successfully on you because they're homosexuality or homosexual, you're an idiot. I think that people who put these stigmas on people just because of the race, their sexuality, their religion, or even their political party is just asinine to me. I don't think you should discriminate or cast aspersions on people just because of their political beliefs. You may gather a whole lot of information based upon a whole lot of information that person gives you, and you can judge for yourself whether this person is good or not. But just on the precedence of their sexuality or their religious affiliation off the just the basics of that alone. To discriminate against someone is just asinine to me. I will never understand that.
Right. Yeah, like yeah, I love Judas Priest. And the first time in the this was during a time when I was a lot younger and didn't understand that stuff. I was told that yeah, Rob Halford was gay.
Hmm.
And I was like I didn't know what to think, but I still listened to Judas Priest, but I was like this music is still so good.
Let me just say this real
But it
quick.
shouldn't stop me from listening to it just
Right.
because of his I love their music. I don't care if he's gay or straight or bi. He's a great musician.
Should I dare to ask this question? I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to ask it, and then we're going to like wind it down. But I am going to ask this question. When was the first time you realized that there are someone that you knew or something that you heard that alluded to the fact that or made you aware of homosexuality? Do you recall?
When I first heard about it,
Yeah.
That's a good one.
uh, uh well, I was probably about 9 or 10 years old because I had just met one of my grandmother's what was it, her son? My grandfather's current wife's nephew, I think, and he's gay. And I was told about that. My mom explained it to me, and of course, I was just a young man. I didn't fully understand the whole thing behind it, so I didn't really think too much of it. But the more I got older, I was like, "Ah, maybe that's not such a good idea. Now that I'm in my 30s, I have a little bit more open mind. I'm like, I don't care who you're with, whether you're a man and you're a man and you're with a man, or you're a woman, you're with a woman. I don't care. That doesn't change whether who you are. As long the way I see it, as long as you're a good person to me, I'll be a good person to you. I don't give two shits who you are, like who you're with,
Mm-hmm.
like what your sexual orientation is. But going to the roots of your question, yeah, I was probably like 9 or 10 years old when I first learned about that specific kind of, you know, how would you categorize that
Lifestyle, maybe.
lifestyle? I'm trying to, but yeah, that's just my whole point of view on that. Like, do you just? But the thing is, also, don't force it on me. I have my own way of doing things. I'm a straight person, but I'm pro you
Pro
being whoever
Jake.
you want to
You're
be.
pro Jake.
Yeah, I'm pro Jake. And I'm all about you doing whatever the hell you want to do. Do what you want to do. Be with who you want to be with. Do what makes you happy, man. That's all I care about.
I just want to show that to you guys because this is some strong crap, and I've been nursing it, and I am. It's good, but it's kind of hitting me a little bit. But go ahead, Marcus. Tell me what you're gonna say because I'm gonna spit some facts to you guys in just a few minutes.
Uh, I think the first time that I guess I came into the knowledge, I guess it was knowledge to me was I'm trying to I want to think it was probably my freshman year in college. And that probably sounds crazy, but I was not one of the cool kids in school. People knew of me because I played football and I ran track, but I didn't get all the invites to the parties and whatnot. So
Because you're quiet
and
and didn't
I
drink.
quiet and didn't drink, and the way my family was, I was in church, 2 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, so I think it was my freshman year in college when I heard them start talking about our women's basketball team and how, oh yeah, so and so is a lesbian, or so and so, yeah, and I was totally blown away. I was like, whoa, really? It's like it was new. It was kind of new to me, in some respects. So I think that's probably when I first when the veil was first torn away from me.
You know, it's funny because I'm before I tell this story, I was trying to think, Marcus, as we were growing up, if there was anybody that we went to school with that I would have actually thought that was homosexual that I didn't think at the time, and I can't think of one. I can't think of anyone that I thought, man, I should have known back then that this person was homosexual and just didn't get it back then.
Hmm.
I just don't know anybody like that.
Right.
And the reason I'm saying
Right.
that is because it's just not prevalent in elementary school, junior highs, and and it may be different now because we're open and people are accepting, and you should be comfortable to be able to be friends with people and be your authentic self. I have a problem with people who think that I cuss a lot when I'm, you know, talking. I will cuss at the TV at the basketball game or the football game. And there are sometimes people who are like, man, dude, why are you saying that? And I'm like, dude, I'm authentically me. You don't like the way I talk, don't hang around me. But I ain't going to apologize for being me.
Guilty.
That's it. I'm not going to apologize for being me. So the first time that I actually became aware of homosexuality, again, because it was a relative of mine, that back in the early 80s, a black transgender was probably the worst thing you could ever do in life. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Being black and being homosexual and a transgender, dressing up in drag, and when I say transgender, I don't mean you got the dick cut off or anything like that. I'm just saying you would just identify as a woman, change your name and everything. I had a relative that was stabbed to death. Stabbed to death. Because perpetrating yourself as a woman and then somebody finding out that you were not was consequences and repercussions. And I was probably in the seventh, I think I was like in the fourth or fifth grade when this happened. But it didn't compute to me about the sex part of being transgender. It was just a person who I knew was part of the family that liked to look a certain way. Then it became, I think I was in probably high school. No, I wasn't that naive. I think it was probably fifth or sixth grade when I became familiar with lesbians first. And Marcus is lying when he talks about homosexuality. Every man knows lesbian sex was like the prevalent in the early 80s.
But I just didn't. Yeah, I just don't recall that though.
Well, I'm tongue in cheek when I said that. I'm just tongue in cheek.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but lesbian porn was the big thing in the 80s. We loved to see women on women. It was great. And then it was frowned upon if you saw a man on man. Nobody wants to see that. But it was one of those things that we took it as tongue in cheek when it was women, and then we really just didn't really talk about it when it was men. But I will tell you this, and pardon, because I love all people the same. Unless I get to know you and you're just a terrible person, I will still have open doors to you. I don't care what color you are, what sexuality you are. It does not matter to me. But I will tell you this to beware. That whole bullshit about if you go to a gay club and they won't hit on you if they know you straight is a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie, I'm telling you. And I'm going to tell you this story. So I was traveling and I met this guy who lived in their apartment complex that I was housed in for my business. And they had this rooftop pool. And we ended up meeting a whole lot of friendly people. And of course, a lot of them were female. But there was this really kind of cool, small little dude. And we all kind of knew him and hung out with him. And we just go to these little bars to drink and then come back and swim at the pool all hours of the end. And then one day he comes up and he goes, "Hey, Brian," he goes, "I know everybody knows I'm gay. And I just feel like left out, like you guys always want me to hang out with you guys, but nobody wants to do with what I wanted to do." And I said, "Wait a minute. I said, hey, I ain't gonna say his name, but I said to him, I said, listen, you're my friend. And if you feel uncomfortable and because we're not doing what you want to do, I will get all of these guys and these friends of mine to go to wherever you want to go. If it's a gay club, it's a gay club. We all went to a gay club. Great time. And it was drag night and all this kind of stuff. It was a great night. They even were like looking at the crowd before the drag people came out. They were like, "Oh, wait a minute! I see some straight people here." Blah 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 blah. But wait a minute! I know there's somebody gay in this whole area over there. And they pointed out to another person. That wasn't me, thank God. They pointed out this other guy. So he's got to be gay. But at the end of the day, their clubs are just like our clubs. When it's time to go home, and you're the ugly person, you're not that ugly when it's time to go home. And I'm like thinking I'm gonna get laid tonight. Drunk people are the same. If you're gay, straight, or not, they will hit on you at the end of the time. When the time is getting ready to come to the end of the night, they will try to press on you if you want to go home with them. Drag queens, straight people, gay people, it does not matter. You just have to do what you do with heterosexual people. Not interested. Peace out. I'm done. I've got to go. It's the same. And I just don't understand why people take it to a point where they have to be offended when someone who is of the same sex or gay or lesbian or transgender hits on you because they feel like you're an attractive person. Anybody thinks that I'm attractive? Thank God.
At least they think you're attractive. That says it kind of boosts my confidence a little bit, even if it's, hey, you know what?
Jake
Say
gets
it, man.
Jake gets it.
You want to be liver, not chopped liver, right?
Now I know I'm handsome. I'm a dashing, good looking
You're
guy.
a
So
dashing fella.
I say that because I try to boost my own self up. But no, like gay people are people too. Anybody in that community, they're all at the end of the day, the way I see it, we're all human beings. We all
Yeah.
bleed, we all eat, sleep, shit, sit, stand, anything. We all do the same stuff.
Right. And
Yeah.
Just because we like people of the same sex does not make us any less human. That's just, and there's a lot of narrow-minded people out there that think of people like that are less of humans. It's like at the end of the day, that's why I always say at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you are, no matter what walk of life you come from, we're still human beings.
hmm Yeah. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's just like with anything. I mean, it's politics or anything. I mean, it may not be for me. Your views or perspective may not be for me, but so I mean, we can all coexist, and
That you know
it's not my place to. Yeah, go ahead.
well, I was just saying though, that doesn't make me any better than you or you any better than me. We're all the same.
Exactly. It's
my
not my place to.
my soul is not your
Yeah.
responsibility. So don't hate on me because if I choose to condemn my soul to hell, if that's what you believe, then why
Yeah.
are you hating on me? Making it even harder for me to live my life before I get there. You mean to tell me?
Right.
Thing about the whole thing about like if it's politics, if it's religion, if it's sexual orientate, anything.
Yeah.
I have my beliefs, you have yours. Just don't try to force your beliefs on me because that's what's gonna create friction. When you're trying to force your beliefs on somebody who doesn't believe what you believe in, that's what causes the friction between people.
Right.
That's the way I see it. Just let me live my life the way I want to live it. I'll listen to what you have to say. I'll have my disagreements, but don't force it on me.
I will say this, and then I'm gonna end it because it's almost 3 hours, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh
Oh,
snap!
has it
Yeah.
really?
I,
Wow.
Yeah, it's almost
I need
3 hours.
to.
Yeah, so it's great. I love Discord. I love discussions. I love having Thumper88, Mr. B, Flaky Jake, Liz. Um, just for fun, the conversation guy. I think I said Thumper88. Everybody in the chat. I love you guys engaging us on these kind of conversations. We started out with like nothing, and it just kind of evolves into something that makes it
Mhm.
feel as if we're sharing ideas, we're sharing points of view. But I want to say this too. We're not advocating, for you not to be a religious person. We're not advocating to you to be a political person. And even when I put things on my channel, or when we put things on Drinks and Discussions that are, leaning a little bit to the left or even centrist or whatever, making or just talking about current events, this current events is it. But I also will tell you this. Next time we have this conversation and you believe that we are wrong in our beliefs, without using the Bible, prove anything that's in the Bible. Take whatever you've heard in the Bible, bring it out.
Wait, say that again?
I said what we've been talking about tonight. If you
Uh-huh.
disagree with what we've talked about, because people always like to point to the Bible about homosexuality and abortion, even though abortion is actually in the Bible discussed, I want you guys to take whatever argument you have, if you disagree with what we've been talking about, and use something that supports the Bible, but not in the Bible. So take whatever you've heard, take, whatever historical information that you've gathered from factual evidence that's not the Bible, that supports the Bible. That's what I always tell people when we have religious conversations. It's like, great, you guys are Bible thumpers. That's great. But you can't take anything that supports the Bible that's not in the Bible. It's hard to do those things. It's hard to
I'm
think
confused
about
by that.
Yeah, I knew that. I'm throwing curveballs here. We'll talk about that later, Flaky Jake, but there are passages. But there are things where you cannot validate what's in the Bible outside of the Bible. So that's why people really just turn to Bible passages to always kind of, pinpoint or kind of like, bring up to why they believe something in the Bible is by another passage. But they can't bring it out of the Bible and say, you know what? Here's what they found 500 BC. Here's what they said in this article on this newspaper, because newspapers were all around and all these other historical artifacts were around when the Bible was constructed, at certain points when the Bible was constructed. So, Mr. B, error, do not comprehend error. No, that's not, and by the way, Liz, I'm not saying that there's archaeological evidence for the Bible. I know that the Bible is, was written, and there's Dead Sea Scrolls and scrolls that were evidence that the Bible was written, and all these passages were put together. What I'm saying is that the evidence, a lot of people who, if you really believe the Bible, you can sit there and say, the people who wrote the Constitution were biblical. They were prophetic because they knew that there would be someone in time that would sit there and try to take over power and serve more than 4 years. That's why they put these limits in place. There's a lot of things that people wrote and passed that you can sit there and say, oh man, they must have been fortune tellers because they are just great about these things. They were fortune tellers, prophetic, if you will. But anyway, that's maybe something for another time. It has been great. I really thought we came in with this, and you guys made it this, and we could not have done it without you. There are people who are leaving now because it's the end of the show, but I enjoy discussion. I just enjoy drinks. I enjoy hanging out on Tuesday nights with these two guys on the panel. I enjoy hanging out with you guys on the chat. And if you ever want to get on the panel, feel free. We are, more than welcome to get you guys up here if you want to, participate in the conversations or give us some conversation that our discussions that we are not only having on the table. We're more than happy to welcome ideas. And we'll be more than happy to discuss and invite you on. So if you're on Discord and you want to be on the channel or the chat, leave us a comment and let us know. Also, if you have not already, please subscribe. If you're on Facebook and you're watching this video, please go to YouTube and subscribe to YouTube. We cannot have almost 300 subscribers on Facebook and only 130 on YouTube if you want us to take the one chip challenge.
Gotta get him in there.
Let's get him. Because Marcus is this close for joining me. I think if we hit 300, Marcus would go, okay, Brian, I'm in. I think Marcus is on board. The one chip challenge. 2023.
Yeah. Yes. The one chip challenge. Yes.
Hey, and I would be a bad dad if I didn't, and I should have said this at the start of the podcast, but
Happy birthday.
happy birthday to my son who turns 26 years old today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Big 26. So that means at the end of this month, he is no longer on my insurance. So, but we, we've had that talk. So
Yeah.
we had that talk. But yeah, happy birthday to that guy. I love him to death.
Happy birthday. We
Happy birthday.
all wish you at Drinks and Discussions are very healthy and happy. Party wherever you are and taking shots wherever you are.
Yes.
He's got a real job now. He's got to go to work in the morning. So
I also that's right. You got to pay for that insurance.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that anybody who knows Liz personally, please send her an email next Tuesday to remind her that we are going live on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, so that she is more punctual as she is one of our moderators in the chat. We appreciate you, Liz. Conversation guy, we appreciate you as well. All the people, Mr. B, it has been great to have your conversation and your discussion on the chat as well. As always, Thumper, 88, you're my guy. You're happy. You're a fellow Texan. Let's go Cowboys. Let's do this thing. Coming up on those Rams. Let's start with Big Jake. Final comments, please, sir.
First off, hearing about Liz retiring, that's great. It's congratulations. You've reached that time. It's awesome. But yeah, just my usual just stay happy, healthy, and safe, and just keep doing what you're doing out there. If you're struggling, just keep getting up and doing what you do. It'll get better. I'm learning that through some really good friends of mine and some family that I've been struggling a little bit, and sometimes you need reassured, and reassurance is good. So, and make fun of me if you will, but I'll quote Jerry Springer and be good to yourself and each other.
Jake knows I always consider him as my little brother. We talk a little bit, and when he tries to do the promos with me, I'm trying to get him more acclimated into the Drinks and Discussions family. He knows we are family here in Drinks and Discussions. So anything that's bothering Jake, he also knows he has people and places to talk to go and talk to anytime he needs us. So we appreciate you. We hope for you to be healthier as you go on throughout the remainder of the week, and your 401k and your 10-year-old job is doing well for you, you rich bastard. But as I'm saying,
rich. I'm far from that right now.
I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. I was just trying to bring some levity about them. I just want to say, Jake, we appreciate you always being a part of the show. Where I know you could go elsewhere, but you stuck with us. We are family, and we hope you consider yourself as part of this family. Always.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you.
I feel like I've said it before. I feel like I really found my place here. It took some drama from other places to get here, but hey, I'm in a good place.
We're here now.
I love it. I love it here.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Now, before Marcus gives his goodbye speech, we couldn't be Drinks and Discussions without those dad jokes. And I hope you got some funny ones, man. I hope you got some funny ones.
We need like a screen to pop down on the stream that just says Marcus and his dad jokes.
Yes, I do need to get a sound bite. I got to get a sound bite. Marcus, listen, this is your segment. You have to come up with a sound bite, send it to me, and I will play that every week for your dad jokes.
I got to do the voiceover. Marcus and the dad joke corner or something like that, or something more fancy than that.
I like it. I like it. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again, Brian, for that introduction. It's good to be here with you. Good to be here for you. So, why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
Hmm.
I'm gonna give it like 10 seconds for anybody in the chat.
Okay.
Not for them to look it up, but just to see if they get anything.
Oh yeah, I forgot that they might be able to do that.
Okay,
I never thought about that.
I don't know. I don't know.
You can't hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom because the P is silent.
Ah,
Wait a minute. Let me
Don't-
look up.
don't
Let me
ha-
let me
don't-
look up how you spell pterodactyl. Is it a P in pterodactyl?
yep.
Apparently
There
so.
sure is.
Listen,
Like
now
you, Liz had a great
Hey.
idea. Marcus and his dad jokes, dad jokes, dad jokes, dad jokes. Like Echo.
I like it. Yeah, with the echo. Yeah.
Mr. B,
Hey.
Mr. B is better with the Don Cornelius video from Soul Train voice next to the.
Oh,
stage.
yes. Peace, love, and soul.
Soul. All right, Marcus. What's the next
So,
one?
yeah, I told you guys I was coming hard because y'all kind of
hard.
upset me, few weeks ago.
Well,
'cause y'all
first of
were
all,
getting all my jokes.
you mistook us for being great spellers on that first one. Nobody knew how to spell pterodactyl, and then I didn't know that there was a P in pterodactyl until you told me, so I had no idea.
I was giving you guys a lot more credit.
Yes.
I mean,
All
I
right.
did because I like dinosaurs, but go ahead, Marcus.
So, who is the fattest knight at King Arthur's round table?
Oh, the fattest knight. Oh, nothing.
I got nothing.
Circumference. Yes. And the crowd goes wild. Okay, I got one more.
Okay.
I got one more.
Look, Liz said Lancelot. Nope. That would have been good though. Lancelot.
Oh, yeah.
But circumference is definitely.
Yeah,
better.
you're not getting them this week, Liz. No, ma'am.
He comes strong. He coming hard in the paint.
I
folks.
am.
He coming hard in the paint.
Yeah. All right. I might give y'all a chance with this one. Did you hear about the ATM that got addicted to money?
Uh-uh.
Hear about that? The
The
ATM that got addicted.
He kept putting out.
It was suffering from withdrawals.
Oh. Boo.
Oh God.
Yes. Thank you. You're welcome.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Oh,
You're very welcome.
I'm glad you went from
Yeah.
top to the bottom on those dad jokes.
they say he'll be here all week, folks. No, he'll be back next.
All week. Leave your tomatoes at home. They are not welcome.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Liz says
thank
she
you,
missed
Sid.
hearing the last one.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh,
It
so
wasn't worth repeating.
the last.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Oh,
Go ahead.
so the last one was. Did you hear about the ATM that was addicted to money? And the answer is it was suffering from withdrawals.
Let me just tell you, the cat sticking his cold nose in your armpit made you jump 3 feet was probably better than that joke. Mark went from descending order. He went from the great good ones all the way down to You know, Marcus needs to understand.
Because
You gotta save your good jokes for the last. For you gotta the encore. When you get ready to leave the crowd, you want those big jokes at the end, not the top.
Hey, honestly,
so I was.
even though they're corny, I still find them funny. Okay, I'm just.
Thank you, Jake.
I'll give
Thank
you
you.
that. I gotta give you
Thank
some
you.
credit.
I'm the
Thank you,
Archie. I'm the Archie Bunker to Marcus's George Jefferson.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. That's a good. That's a
I
good.
thought
Okay,
that was
I can
good.
see that.
You like
yes.
that? You like that one?
Yeah. That's
I
good.
went way
That's
back
good.
here to get that one and came all the way up here. All right,
There
parting
you go.
words, Mr. Marcus. Parting words, sir.
Yeah. I don't have really any really strong words of wisdom. Just it's just I enjoy you guys. It's a good time. Yeah. So we'll look forward to it every week, and we'll see you guys next week. And to all of our peeps out there in chat land, appreciate you guys. I can't dare call you all by name because I'll miss somebody. But yeah, appreciate you guys, following along and entertaining us as much as we try to entertain you. So thank you.
So I'm going to say this starting off because I keep forgetting. If you're watching this on Facebook, we have 260 something followers on Facebook. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel of Drinks and Discussions. There are plenty of channels on Drinks and Discussions that we are building outside of this one. And Drinks and Discussions general channel, which you're on right now, this is not a political discourse channel. This is just like general topics. We talk about everything. If it's newsworthy, if it's in the news, if it's current events. And right now, unfortunately, there's a lot of newsworthy events that are politically charged. And I do put things out there that may feel as if they're more political than anything else. But we're not a political channel. We just discuss things. And we want to strike an accord with everyone to come here and discuss those things, whether it be politics, community service, religion, football, basketball, whatever the case may be. This is the place where we want you to be able to feel comfortable to share your perspective, your points of view without being chastised about it. So I'm glad to see some new faces in the crowd. I was also really glad to see familiar faces that make this a home, a family, as Jake always says. We really appreciate you guys. We cannot do this without you. I also want to just make sure you guys understand that there are going to be times where we are going to be doing more on Sports Channel live streaming, also on Tuesday. If you want to be a part of that, go to Drinks and Discussions Sports and subscribe to that channel. We're just trying to make it even across the board because we are interested, all three of us and other people who want to join us on the sports channel. And we just have a lot to say because it is football season. That's the season that we are both, all three of us are gravitating to when it comes to sports. So don't be, cast away or feel like if you're not a part of that you can't join us on those channels. But if you don't see us on the general, that's what we're going to be. I was trying to put some things on this channel when we are on the sports channel, but we're not going to do that anymore. So if you don't see us on here on Tuesday live, we will be on Drinks Discussions Sports. I know, Liz, you're not a sports person, but if you want to show your support for us, if we talk about sports, that's what we will be. We also have Ladies Night with Sharon and her group of individuals that are going to be talking about Ladies Nights. They will ask some of us men to be on Ladies Nights to give our perspective. You might see Jake, you might see Marcus, you might see me, you might see other men on there having a Discord with those ladies on Ladies Nights. There's also the True Crimes that is on every Saturday, 7 o'clock. They rebroadcast. They're not live, but they show their videos that they put together during the week. And share that on Drinks and Discussions True Crime. So please look for that as well. All of those channels can be found on our YouTube channel at the bottom of the page. Go all the way down. And we got Go Bengals. Mr. B says Go Bengals. Let's go Cowboys. And I just want to just say again at the end of the night,
you guys won one game.
we won 3 games. Leave me alone. I just want to say thank you again to everyone. You don't have to be here, but we appreciate you that you are. And we do talk about some things that are just a little bit a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about, but we really appreciate you guys joining us. So that's Big Jake. That's Marcus. And I am Brian. And we are Drinks and Discussions. And we hope to see you guys next time. And until then, drink responsibly.